Muppets. If he called himself Monkey, that reminds me of the Muppets.
The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football? Yeah!
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
And good afternoon, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Kevin Hastings. That's me. Shock Joxx, episode 19, season 2. Welcome, everybody. I am joined today by none other than, let's see, Hunter Yancey. This is Hunter. There's Hunter. Usually what we do, Tanner, is put the banana man in his seat when they're late and not here. Tanner's here. Hunter's not. There's Tanner. No, there's Tanner. Hey, Tanner. Wave, Tanner.
Hey.
Tanner, of course, sponsored by his job, Pizza, and he is a Dabo Sweeney's biggest #1 fan club member, right?
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Let me find my cool lightning shot. It's Shock Joxx time, and we got a lot of things to talk about. I got a note on my desk I'm going to have to go grab in a second as soon as Hunter comes down and steps in and goes over a couple of things. Oh, he just texted me. That's not good. My direct. Anyway, we've got, man, my list is down the hall. I know what we got today, though, Tanner. We've got NCAA basketball tournament. How about those Mountaineers?
That are going to lose in the first round.
No. They're going to beat Norfolk. They're going to beat Norfolk State, whatever that is.
They're going to beat them, and then they're going to get beat by Gonzaga.
Well, you know, upsets happen. Virginia got beat a couple years ago. Things are weird. We've got the best player in the ball game. Right?
Maybe.
I'll get a look at some of Gonzaga's stats and see what I think about if Appalachian's gonna gash them up. What we wanted is Michigan. We're gonna talk about that later. We got let's see, NFL news. Drew Brees retired. Taysom Hill resigns. Cam Newton's back in New England. We've got what's gonna happen to Russell. We've got, let's see, who else? I did hit the go live on that one, didn't I? Make sure we did.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm about 900% sure I did. All right. And then we've got, how about Tampa? Re-signing Shaq Barrett in Tampa. So there's you some football news. The problem is, Tanner, let's see if you could find it. You're not doing anything in here for a second. Go down to my desk, and on a white notepad with red letters is a bunch of notes that I took. And there should be a yellow sticky pad near it. I need both of them, preferably, but see if our intern can find it. Hide and go notes with the intern. All right. So we've got that. We've got NASCAR to talk about from this weekend coming up. We've got Bristol coming up in a few weeks. We've got crew chief suspended. Get into some of that here in just a little bit. And, he needs to grab my bracket, too. I'll yell at him here in a second. So, folks, I'm going to yell in a second, so be ready. As soon as he comes back out of the office. Trubisky, looks like he might be moving on. Hey, grab my bracket too. I think it's in there. Bracket. And then we got a special segment coming up. We'll do without Hunter right now as soon as Tanner gets back. We're going to do a new segment. I want to I'm going to have fun with this a little bit. Oh, no, there's Hunter, so he can join me with this. Tanner's bringing my notes, so I was kind of figuring out exactly what order I was going to go take everything in. But what I've got Tanner to do today first, and while he's not down there, you might want to comment or two. I told him to grab 3 players he's never heard of on the wall.
Okay.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're gonna kind of feature these guys here in a little bit in a little segment for Tanner.
Uh-huh.
You ever heard of any of these guys? I don't know if you've heard of that Raider right there. He's kind of...
No, I've not really heard of Harvey
I know
Williams.
you know what that is.
Okay.
Never heard of him. And that one you might not made on. I doubt it.
No.
Okay. Hey, 2 out of 3. Educate today's youth. We'll do what? The bracket wasn't in there. So that we got my mystery bracket is somewhere. And I'm going to have to find it. Ugh, suck it in. All right. I was just telling him, Tanner Hunter about how Appalachian. Oh, there it is. How does the NCAA bracket not put them in Michigan side?
I don't know.
What reason do they look at that and say, you know what? We really got to get Appalachian against Gonzaga in the first round.
I don't understand that.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, who's sitting in that room and says, let's have, who is MSM? Do you know?
No.
Just wonder, who is MSN? I don't know, but they might get to play Michigan. Texas Southern, I've heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
But are either one of y'all I mean, you don't tell me the ratings at least for App State Michigan 16-1 would have been better than anything they're going to put against Michigan.
Yeah. Well, it would have.
And should Michigan still be a number 1 seed, by the way? Did Ohio State just beat them?
Yeah, Ohio State beat them in the tournament or in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, Ohio State's a 2.
But here's the thing: Michigan's gotten beat by Ohio State and Illinois, and Illinois is a 1 seed, and Ohio State is a 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how set in stone a lot of those teams already were with the 1 seeds before the conference tournaments even started. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, the conference tournament started. It doesn't matter whether you won the conference tournament
You're saying
or you were,
they don't even care about any of that?
About maybe not those top 4. What is it's Gonzaga, Illinois, Baylor, and then Michigan. 2 of them are Big Ten teams. I mean, Baylor didn't even win theirs. Baylor was put out. They got beat by Oklahoma State.
Okay, with that said, all right, now my idea of taking the regular season winners out of the conference tournament anyway and letting the other guys in, doesn't that kind of fit this profile?
Well, it fits that
A,
mold.
they don't care,
right?
Or B, that it would still get these other guys' teams in.
If you went strictly, you got to win your conference tournament, then yes. Then it would screw up regular season conference winners for making it. In this case, you would have had Baylor and Michigan wouldn't have made it if it goes by that rule, because Illinois, they could still be the 1 seed. They won the conference tournament.
Well, they would get in, but
right. But if you're just saying take conference winners, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like somehow, some way, yes, there would be a lot of teams on here that are from big power Division I conferences, and they would not be in that.
I want you to look at my printout. This is my turn into ESPN.
You put App State as winning it all, didn't you?
Well,
Wouldn't let me do that yet.
well, the
do
funny
that till
thing is,
Wednesday.
I'm looking at this bracket, and I don't hate the Winthrop upset over Villanova in the first round.
What about them in the national championship game?
And against Appalachian in the national championship game, I'd have to question that.
You're gonna quit.
And it's
That
only
one-
because
only because.
now listen, I'm questioning whether to do
You're
this.
questioning App in that?
No, I'm questioning whether to do this bracket today or after the play-in games because it keeps showing like at least just
11 seeds different than a 16
That's what I'm saying.
seed.
The 11
That's completely
seeds.
different.
The 11 seeds are the only thing that I'm waiting on.
Right.
The 16 seeds, I could give a shit. Like,
Right. I
I'm
understand.
sorry,
I understand.
Appalachian, even if you would have been playing Michigan or one of these others, I wouldn't have probably picked you. Same with Texas.
Do you know
Southern,
how
or
many
Texas.
brackets
Is it Texas?
would have?
Yeah, it's Texas.
Do you know
Southern.
how many brackets would have had App State over Michigan?
Yes, and a lot of them would
Like-
have been graduates from Appalachian State.
Yes.
Yes.
But at least.
Yes.
At least Virginia got beat. What? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years.
Who beat them?
Well,
you remember?
it was UMBC, Methodist, whatever that is. I don't know. It was.
Was that a church league?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a Catholic school out
Let me look
out
at
of
that.
Illinois.
When I look at you this way on the screen, and you look at me. Okay, we got to switch these. We're looking off screen at each other. Folks, on air editing. Oh, I could do double, couldn't I? There we go. Let's switch this. This is going to make me.
I don't know. This is.
going to make me so much more comfortable.
I will
about
say
that?
this
Hey.
though. I am just so
You
glad.
get that?
I'm just so
Yeah.
glad that we have a tournament because I have more fun filling out brackets than
God.
probably any man really should. Because I will have 3 or 4 different brackets. One of them will be a coin flip bracket just to see how that one does. One of them will be a mascot bracket.
So,
and
did you
yeah,
notice anything on my bracket? Any strategy? I actually didn't. I didn't jackwagon around. I kind of had a strategy. If you can't pick it up, I'll explain it. It ain't that important. For the most part, it's always 1s, 2s, and 3s in the Final Four anyway.
Right.
Final in the Elite Eight, right?
Right.
So
You did upsets.
my strategy is always when I do those. Now I won't go through and do that's ultimate upset. That's all upsets except for like 1s and 2s and
right.
then a couple 3s.
Yeah, that's what I started to notice after a while was I'm looking at something like, okay, lower seed, except for
But
the
think
ones
about it.
and
If
the
you
2s.
upset a team and you lose the next game, I might as well pick the upset because I'm only going to get 1 point out of it anyway.
Yeah.
But if you get that upset, then boom, 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 you wipe out half the nation or half the people in your bracket.
I mean, you're
so
right.
I always like picking. If you're only like pick out the ones you think are going to make the Final Four in each bracket, and then back pick,
Yeah.
and then pick your upsets and be like, well, if this team is like say 4 versus 12 or whatever.
I mean, this is one of those
Four's
crazy
gonna get beat
years.
by
This is
number
one of
one,
those
might as well pick 12.
crazy years. Straight up, I could see it being all 1 seeds in the Final Four. Gonzaga is strong. Michigan is strong. Illinois is strong, and Baylor is strong. The problem is I've seen Michigan get beat. I've seen Baylor get beat. Illinois, I have a stronger feeling about Illinois winning this national championship this year than Gonzaga. I was listening to the podcast that came out today that Colin Coward does. It's not his radio show. He's just got a podcast now that he interviews people. He had Doug Gottlieb on there, and he asked Doug the question. He said, everybody's wondering it. Is it just Gonzaga versus the field? Like, is everybody just on that Gonzaga is going to win the national championship this year? Or is there a team in the field that you would pick? And I'm leaning field because very rarely does it ever just go chalk. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And easy like that.
Straight up before you get in here, can App upset Gonzaga?
No. Sorry. No.
I'm about to pull up Gonzaga's stuff.
They've got probably one of the most potent offenses in the nation. And Suggs that plays for them is probably a lottery pick. So,
You're telling me they got a better player than we do?
yes.
I don't believe it.
Multiple better players.
I think we've got the top 2 players on the court, and they've got 3 through 9.
I'm
and
sorry.
we're about to take shots at them like Steph Curry took shots at
I'm
everybody.
sorry. Adrian
Just
Delp
wait.
is not better than Suggs. I'm sorry. He's a good player, but he's not better than Suggs.
Finish that statement up with IMO.
IMO. There you go. In my opinion, Adrian Delph is not better than Suggs of Gonzaga.
In my opinion, Adrian Delph's about to put it on him.
Another
At
team.
least you're going to get, Hunter, I predict, one left-handed windmill from Adrian Delph.
I hope so. I want all these
It might
games
be
to be a
110 to
show.
25, but he's getting a windmill.
Yeah. I want all of
Gets
Tanner
one
said he
every
play.
game.
Boy can play, can't he?
Yeah.
I want all of these games to be good. I want all of them to be really fun to watch. Sure, we're going to have some blowouts every now and then. Someone really shouldn't be matched up again. Like, I'm serious. Illinois, Michigan, Gonzaga, and Baylor combined can beat all their teams probably by 100. That's just the margin of victory combined together. I think you'd be by 100. I know that's, you could say it's kind of me shitting on their opponent, not really giving them much credit, but those have been the strongest teams
It's
all
awful
year.
elitist of you, Hunter.
Now, everybody knows that the best games to watch are the 12-5 matchups, which I agreed on one of your upsets, and the 8-9 games are always good. And as a Tar Heel fan, we are in that 8-9 matchup. And so I feel like that's going to be a really interesting game. One of the things, too, I got to just wait and see how the dynamic works of everybody playing in the same spot. Everybody's just playing in Indianapolis. And I think it's all being in Lucas Oil. I don't
No.
is it?
Indiana University, and there's
Okay.
another one, too.
Okay.
that they are
But
split
majority
up.
of them are
They
still
are
just
split
there. Like, we're not playing regional bias.
Some of them said,
at
one of them
all.
made a good point, though, Hunter. If you're would you rather play in Assembly Hall in front of, with national championship banners actually hanging in the rafters, or in a football stadium? You know what I mean?
Right.
And the fact there's no fans, or maybe half
Did
fans. I don't know, whatever.
Did Indiana make it? I don't know, because that'd be kind of that kind of be cheating if they play home court advantage. You
Well,
know
I
what
want
I'm
to
saying?
know. Explain this for me.
Indiana did not make it.
And I'm a, I don't know how to put it, not an expert at this, but, and I was, because I didn't even look at the bracket before it out, because I knew Duke wasn't in, NC
Kentucky's
State's not
not.
in. No, we're talking the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
We're in North Carolina for you folks.
Wake
who don't
Forest is not in.
know. I want to talk about how I thought App was the second best team in the state, and then I looked down there and they got UNC Greensboro in here.
Mhm.
Why are they a 13 seed and we're not?
I don't know.
I mean,
You both won your conference.
like, there's a big difference between a 13 and a play-in.
Well, no.
What are we
not,
doing here?
Not if you're 11 with a play-in.
Yeah, like, what do they come up with that formula?
I don't know.
Like, that stuff's...
I don't know.
Anyway,
UNC Greensboro usually is very competitive. I know a few
here's
years
who's in their
ago.
conference: Wofford, Furman, Chattanooga, East Tennessee State, VMI, Mercer, Citadel, Western Carolina. Didn't we leave behind that crap conference?
Probably. That's why
Yes.
you left that to go SoCon.
Right. That's the So why? No, we're in the Sun Belt. We left the SoCon to go Sun Belt.
Okay, that's right. That's right. You're in the Sun Belt. You play Troy in them.
Right.
Yeah.
So why in the world? I'm going to look up the standings, but I mean, any conference that has Western in it is, God forbid, worse than ours. Just flat out facts, boys.
I'm just looking through here because I haven't looked at
But-
at all of this.
Hunter, Coach K. I guess the Danny Manning at Wake Forest. Still, or did he quit before this year?
I don't think he's still there.
Seems like he got out of there.
Coach at UNC Greensboro though is an ex-Tar Heel assistant.
Is that Wes Miller?
I think it is Wes Miller.
He used to play on the team, actually.
Yeah, Wes Miller's North.
Yeah, he was on the team.
Yeah, he's the coach.
He was one of those backup point guards
Yeah.
in the grain of, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how UNCG's a 13 seed.
He is the coach at
21
UNC
and
Greensboro.
8. Is it because I got a Tar Heel coach?
What's App's record?
That's what I'm getting to. Because we weren't the best team in the conference. We actually upset somebody, so that's probably
Yeah,
why.
you guys played great. See, that's what you can credit to get you in is you won the tournament. You won your conference tournament.
Yeah, because we got Adrian Delph, and they don't.
Okay. Listen,
We were 17 and 11.
Okay, so there you go.
That's why.
Well, when someone goes, 8-3 in the SEC, Tanner, they talk about how great their conference is. And when they get instead of 10-1 and whatever in the SoCon, I'm not saying we're the SEC.
Ooh, that's gonna be a fun matchup right here.
What you got?
Iona and Alabama. The return of Ricky P.
He's gonna get beat by 60.
The return of Ricky P.
Iona. How did he end up at Iona?
Because no one else wanted to take a shot at him after the Louisville incident.
Don't you remember me telling Terry? I said, "This is your chance.
You could have.
If y'all want to ever be good,
you could have hired him.
This is your chance because he's willing to send strippers and pay whatever he needs to pay the players right."
And people listen.
NC State's not afraid to pay people.
What? With how he did his recruiting manners, all right. Who cares? The guy is actually like one of 3 coaches to take 5 different schools to the big dance.
I'll put it this way.
The guy can coach.
He's not the first or only one to have ever done that. I would guarantee.
Yeah, I don't think he's the only one that said, "Hey, Jimmy, I got hookers and blow waiting for you back here."
Do you think any Georgia Tech recruits have ever been to some of the places down there in the ATL?
I don't know. You think Big John was out there sending them hookers?
Evander Holyfield is down there, and Eugene Robinson.
Think Patrick Ewing's continuing that today at Georgetown?
Ewing? Well, he's had his own trouble lately. He can't even get the door of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
He gets in the local strip. He gets in the local strip joint easier than he does the Garden, Hunter.
Yes,
and his jersey's hanging in both.
Jeez, it's like James Harden. James Harden's got his jersey hanging in both the strip club and Houston.
Somebody that
not yet.
Speaking of
Houston,
the jerseys hanging, I know we're kind of wandering here, but real quick, I did see someone talking about, or heard someone talking. I can't even remember where it was. They're talking about LeBron. It might have been TV or something, saying that Miami, talking about his jersey being retired. Is like he better win another 1 or 2 in LA because he just beat Miami. Like, are they going to retire your jersey now?
Nope.
You left us and then beat us,
right?
No. So. All right, yeah, I just want to. Anyway, I'm joking with Tanner and Andre and them, everybody about how App's second best team in the state, and Coach K. Maybe Coach K, Tanner said Adrian could have went to somebody big if he'd have got recruited right. I'm like where? We got more stands than Duke. We got 500 more seats than Duke does. Nicer facilities. We're in the tournament. They're not.
Right. Well, I hate to tell you, but you're probably the 3rd best team in the state of North Carolina.
Listen, these IMOs you keep throwing out here, getting on my nerves.
I'm just telling you, if you want to go by record, technically it would be UNC Greensboro and Chapel Hill.
I know. We'll see. I'll tell you what.
If they all have first-round exits, it doesn't matter.
Well, who does Greensboro play?
Florida State.
Shit.
App plays Gonzaga, and North Carolina plays Wisconsin.
Why couldn't they give us Michigan? To have so much fun with this. I mean, if we beat Gonzaga, I don't even know anybody on Gonzaga.
Suggs, I just told you.
Terrell Suggs plays for Gonzaga?
No, that ain't Terrell Suggs. I can't remember his first name. Damn, dude can ball. He is good. I've watched him a couple times. I watched one of the games he played, though, early in the season in Maui. I thought he was going to be out for a while because he sprained the piss out of his
they're in
ankle.
the conference of BYU, Loyola, Pepperdine, Pacific, Santa
they're
Clara,
in the West Coast
Mary's,
Conference.
San Francisco.
West Coast Conference. I tweeted that today.
Let me just read you the mascots, Tanner. See if you can name what school. Hunter, let's see if you can name them. Who's the Pilots?
It's not Pepperdine, is it?
Portland.
Okay.
What about the Toreros? Not toros like a bull, a torero. I don't even know what that is. We can look it up.
It's got to be somewhere down low in New Mexico.
San Diego.
Well, damn.
What about the Dons? DONS. I have no idea what it is.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. It's not.
Not the Dons, the Dons. San Francisco. What about the Gales?
St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
Broncos.
Or not St. Vincent, St. Mary's. It's just St. Mary's.
It ain't Vincent. Ain't that
that
LeBron
name
school?
from
That's the high school, yeah.
They got that name from a strip club.
The Broncos from Santa Clara. The Tigers from Pacific. What about the Waves?
Is that Pepperdine?
There you go. What about the Lions from Loyola Marymount and the Cougars from BYU?
All right, so I tweeted this today. It was talking about the top 7 streaks
Yeah.
and for who's making the tournament. Longest active NCAA tournament streaks. Kansas at 31. Michigan State 23. Gonzaga 22. North Carolina 10, but it was longer if they wouldn't have screwed it up in 2010. 2011. Villanova at 8. Virginia at 7. And Purdue at 6.
So am I correct that in the state of North Carolina, App is tied for the second longest streak of making the tournament right now?
Possibly, yes. I don't know what goes after 6. There might be someone that's made it 3 or 4 times, but
nobody else is in it but Greensboro.
maybe UNC Greensboro. I don't know.
Have they made it a couple years in a row?
I don't know, but I will say
Surely
this.
not.
I tweeted, I respect Gonzaga as a program, but I'd like to see them in a better conference than the West Coast Conference. And I had a guy reply, and obviously he's a Zags. He's a Gonzaga fan.
Oh, really? They have those?
Yeah. They did try. What is a Jesuit, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean.
Jesuit.
A Jesuit school.
Jesuit.
With no
I'll explain that later.
Okay. With no football supposed to do. Can't join the Pac-12 as not a research school or football. The Mountain West Conference would have been way less revenue, more travel, and still no football. The Big East would be a great fit, but the travel would be insane. And I'm sitting here saying, first of all, it don't matter.
Your spot should be just quit sports.
Why would you not join the Mountain West Conference? You think that's how is that way less revenue than the West Coast Conference?
Let me ask you something. In football, they won't let those teams be number 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But why they let them in basketball? Shouldn't they be an automatic 2 seed in a non-Power 5 conference if you can't play in the Power 5 bowls? Why are you allowed to be a 1 seed?
But what I don't understand either is
You don't even have a football team.
exactly that's what I was going to say. What I don't understand either is what's the point about them not having a football team though? Why can't they? Why couldn't they? Why wouldn't they be able to join the Pac-12? Does the Pac-12 say you have to have a football team?
Maybe.
I mean I don't know. And besides, Gonzaga, you're located on the West Coast. I can't remember which state you're in. It's either Oregon or Washington. Why don't you have a football team? As successful as your basketball team has been, you're obviously bringing in athletes, and you're bringing in the revenue some way. You're making the for God's sakes 1 seed, it seems, about every year for the NCAA.
Spokane, Washington.
Okay, so it is Washington. Why don't you have a football program? I don't understand that. West Coast Conference. I mean, they slide in here, Gonzaga, undefeated. Granted, they do have a few big wins on the season. If I'm not mistaken, they beat Baylor and they beat Illinois.
I'm going to stick this on the wall. UNC 10, App State, UNCG 1-1. Just to remind Terry.
Okay. You do that. I don't know. It's not me trying to be an elitist and trying to be like, you got to be in a big, bad conference. But when you basically run a conference that's full of nobodies, then essentially, let's say you got 10 teams in the conference, including yourself. So you play them twice, so you're getting 18 free wins right there if you just beat the rest of the people in your conference every year. Right. That's 18 free wins. And at the end of the season, you're sitting there at like 28-0. And I'm like, okay, well, over 50%, almost 60% of those wins are against who? Mm-hmm. Who the hell is Pepperdine? We sit here and we talk about sports powerhouses. I can at least tell you this. Alabama is a 2 seed this year in basketball, and they also just won the national championship in football. Ohio State is a 2 seed in basketball and was the runner-up in the college football championship, losing to Alabama. I'm looking around. Illinois, they play in they have a decent football team. Baylor, at one time, had I can go through here and just athletic after athletics in these teams, and they play in these larger conferences, and Gonzaga, and I'm like,
so
you don't play nobody.
So after winning, all these bowl games,
only one that sticks out, you said, is BYU.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, all right. After winning all these bowl games.
But wait. BYU is only in there for basketball because as a football, they're an independent. Mm-hmm. So if Gonzaga, hey, why don't you be independent?
There you go.
And then just join a conference as a basketball team.
I mean, Gardner-Webb's got a football team. Surely Gonzaga can afford it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Come
on now.
So, the last appearance was 2015.
For
NC State.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't won a football conference title since 1979. Explain to me why the ACC shouldn't replace them with the Mountaineers. Explain to me why the SEC shouldn't replace Vanderbilt. That would be what's best for everybody, is getting them in the SEC, because there's no.
We've talked about that, but it would be for strictly football.
No, what do you mean football?
That's what I mean. It would be for strictly football.
Are we not in the basketball tournament?
Barely.
Well, there's about 10 SEC teams that ain't.
You're barely in.
Right? Right?
At
We are champions. We are champions. Where's the SEC? Here's the SEC standings. Let's see these sorry mugs. Southeast Conference. Does Florida make the tournament?
I thought I saw them.
Yeah, I think they did.
I'm trying to figure out how many teams made the tournament from the SEC. Missouri, Ole Miss. You said Kentucky didn't.
I don't think Florida did. I don't see them.
Florida's 14-9. What about Missouri at 16-9 or Ole Miss at 16-11?
I know for a fact Ole Miss is on the bubble for one of those 4 teams. If a team gets knocked out because they can't make it for COVID, they're a replacement team. For Missouri,
the Mizzou Tigers?
I do not see the Mizzou
So only
Tigers.
4 teams.
Yeah, Florida plays.
Actually, JK,
Virginia.
Missouri did make it. They're a 9 seed.
Okay.
Florida plays Virginia Tech.
So 5.
Florida did make it?
Yeah.
Virginia Tech? Okay.
Where
We'll
am I-
be
where am I
accurate.
blind
I guess
at?
I can pull it up.
Virginia Tech is in what side? Okay, there they are. Yeah, Florida's a 7 seed.
I'm just trying to get how many. I'm just looking at NC State. You know, these schools. How about Boston College, Louisville, Miami, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Notre Dame, no SEC championships, South Carolina, though, of course. Wake Forest won one in 2006. Besides that, it was 1970.
I mean, for God's sakes, think about it. ACC champion this year was Georgia Tech, ACC tournament champion. And they're sitting here with a 9 seed. A 9 seed, and they won the tournament.
All about names.
I mean,
They
North
should be at
Carolina is
least
an
a
8
2
seed.
I mean, State should fold their sports
Who?
program, shouldn't
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech should not be a 2 seed. I
If
mean,
they won the ACC.
you still have to kind of take into consideration what they did during the regular season, but 9 seed, I could have at least seen them being a 6 seed. A little bit higher. I'm not going to put them top 2 because I can agree with this. Illinois, I can agree with Baylor, Gonzaga, and Michigan as your 1s. Iowa definitely deserved to be a 2. Ohio State deserved to be in 2. Alabama, they won the SEC championship game over LSU, so I think that should be there. And I don't know too much about Houston, but going that high for Georgia Tech just because you won the conference, I mean, you still were, I think, 3rd or 4th in the ACC. So if you don't even finish, because Florida State finished 2nd in the ACC regular season standings and lost the ACC championship game, and they were the 4 seed.
UNCG played in 2018 was their last appearance. They lost by 4 points to Gonzaga. Dun, dun, dun. Here comes the Mountaineers. Hi. Hey, how about this? Forget Michigan. We've been there, done that. We'll just go ahead and take 2 biggest
There you
upsets
go.
in college history. How about
There you
that?
go. And 2
Let's
different
knock out
sports.
the number 1 overall seed.
And
Go
yep.
to get the Zags, the Zigzags, whatever that is. What is their mascot? Ain't it a dog or
I think
something?
they're called the Zags, but it's a bulldog.
Right.
I don't know what that means. I don't think bulldogs.
It means
are
they're
really,
going to lose to
I don't know
Appalachian
if
State.
bulldogs
What
are really
means they
zigging and
don't-
zagging around.
No.
They aren't moving that fast.
They're slow.
I'll tell you what, Kevin. If Appalachian State pulls up the upset, I'm not going to sit here and say I'll be upset about it. I'll be happy about it. That's chaos. It's chaos. But let me tell you something. I don't believe there will truly be any. I don't think there will ever be a perfect bracket then. Like, sure, someone will have picked that upset, but somewhere else they'll have messed up.
Ain't
So,
no way.
no
Ain't
way.
no way.
Ain't no way.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure that happened
Of
whenever
course, we pure luck,
UMCB.
we'll say no way, so
Was
might
it
do
was it UMCB? UMBC when they beat Virginia. I think they said it was like point something percentage brackets are now perfect. And I'm like, well, dang, no one is making it that far, and it's only the first weekend.
I haven't found the total explanation for it. One time Georgia went by the name Gonzaga went by the name of the Fighting Irish in the 10s and 20s. It was dropped in 1921 in the favor of the current Bulldogs mascot. Although the school's mascot is a bulldog, they have long been nicknamed the Zags. That's why the Zags. I guess we're idiots totally for not saying Zags, but there you go.
Go Zags.
Somebody says, "What's a Zag?" Yes,
I'd love to see them get
It's just
beat.
their name, guys. No, I don't care. As long as the Duke don't win, I really don't care who wins it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And
I'm
guess
just
what?
pulling for
They
App
can't now.
to shock the world.
They can't because they didn't make it.
The world. So I got a list of things to
Doesn't
talk
matter.
about. I had Duke.
Carolina's gonna lose.
Speaking of state, is
Probably.
NC State going to play in that?
In what? NIT?
Yeah, they played Davidson, actually. It's only 16 teams. So there you go. All right, let's see. Oh, which one of these I want? This is just a random comment, and you can go where you want it. I've got other things to talk about. But for 4 years, this is money in today. This is what you get for 4 years in different sports and different positions. 4 years, $20 million a year, Shaq Barrett.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
4 years, $20 million.
Yeah. Like one sack a game is $16 million a year. Like if you're paying someone more than that, like how many guys average 16 sacks? Nobody almost. The league record's like 23, isn't it?
Did he just sign that?
Yes, today.
Okay, I must have missed that. For him, I guess that's fine. If that's what the Buccaneers value him for, he is I know he just won one with the Bucs, but he is a two-time Super Bowl champion. He also won it the year with the Broncos that they defeated the Carolina Panthers. He was on that squad. He's good. He is good, but it just shows you that teams are really starting to value edge rushers.
His name's
more.
not even. He didn't even get 8 sacks last year. 8.5 sacks.
I guess it's just what he brings. I don't know. You
Barrett, right?
Yeah, Shaq Barrett. Wait.
8 sacks last year. 8 sacks. That's it. They just paid 4 years, $78 million for him. All right. How about this, Hunter? You can get Dak Prescott you can get one playoff win coming off of an ankle falling off for $40 million a year, 4 years, $160 million. Tanner, he's paying him more than he bought the Dallas Cowboys for.
Why?
That's a great question.
Stupid.
Now, these are why I brought this up, is just 4-year deals across the board this week. Did you see Taysom Hill's deal?
Yeah, 4 years, $140 million. As a backup, because he's not going to be the starter once they re-sign Jameis.
You paying a backup $35 million a year? That's what it averages up to. Now,
Listen, the Saints wonder why they're in cap hell.
$35 million. Now, did you read the details on it?
It's voidable every year.
Right. Which means, I guess if he's not the starter, they're just going to cut him.
Probably.
Okay. How about, so there's 3 folks, there's 4-year deals.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think they said if they do bring Jameis Winston back, it's a open quarterback competition between him and Taysom to see who starts.
If you're Jameis, would you want to come back to that?
Probably not.
Or would you call New England?
Well, not anymore. If I was him, I'd call Washington. But
Is that what you want?
yeah.
Huh?
Well, that's what I want. But I tell you what, the perfect scenario is somehow we lure Russell Wilson out
If
of
someone
Seattle.
would sign Alex Smith and Andy Dalton to the same team, you'd win the Super Bowl this year.
That's a lie and a half. And I have to say half because Alex Smith is only half a man right now. Just kidding. He's like a fourth, 3/4.
Over-under. Does Alex Smith win more games last year than your quarterback this year?
Well, we don't have a quarterback.
Well,
this
I'm
year.
just saying whoever
Does
it is.
he? No. He under.
5-1,
He went
Hunter.
5
Y'all
and
cut
1.
him.
Yeah. which means whoever
Terrible.
starts for us
Better
is
go
gonna
7-0.
be better than 5-1. Even if he goes 6-1,
That's
he's
what,
better.
that's what the Cowboys thought. All right. How about you can get Gordon Hayward for 4 years and $30 million a year?
Oh my God, different Gordon Hayward though.
You get the Celtics third string small forward for
Celtics third string small forward. He's a Hornet.
$30 million. I know that, but that's what he was when we got him.
Yeah.
He was their third string small forward, and he got him for $30 million. That's how much money stuff goes for today. Just insane. Insane is what that is. I just Gordon Hayward. But did you see his comments about the Celtics?
Gordon's? No,
Yeah.
I did not.
He said that when he signed with the Celtics, it was to play with Isaiah Thomas and to score 25 points a game like he's doing now, basically.
All right.
And then they
Dang.
drafted Brown and Tatum, and that's not what he was signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't blame him.
That was the main reason that he left. Nothing. He said nothing against any of those guys or anything. It's just
No,
how-
I don't blame him.
how
Think
that
about it.
works out.
That's how he ended up getting traded, and the money that he got was from how he was playing with the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And his role when they did bring on Brown and Tatum was diminished to where everybody was calling him sometimes the third or fourth scorer. And that's just not in him. So I believe every bit of it.
He was talking about being old in the league now. He said his assistant coach is one of his teammates in college. And he's like, I'm old. And then I saw today that Steph Curry turned 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That makes that now a lot of things don't make me feel old, but that really does. Like it does not seem like he has been in the NBA for 12.
13 years.
Steph Curry.
I know.
Like
And think about it.
that's insane.
His style of play, he's got another almost 10 years in front of
Maybe
him.
if he can't defend nobody, that's the biggest thing. And I
Ray
know-
Allen couldn't defend
I know-
nobody at the end, but he was just a pure shooter.
Allen wasn't. He was never a bad defender. Curry, I worry when his shooting. He can play forever with his shot. I worry that when he gets
Let's take away the 10 years. Say, well, he still has another 7 in him. He could play to 37, 38.
Let's say Iguodala, for example, wants to play till he's 40, whatever. He can make a living guarding perimeter guys, guarding stretch fours, shooting corner threes. As a guard, once you lose your defensive effectiveness, you turn into toast like really quick because all the guards are good.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, just 6 foot tall people across the board, they're good. And then, so what I'm saying is that I worry with the guards as far as longevity, defensive wise. Like him and Seth, they could shoot till they're 50. It's a matter of when you put them on the court, like, because that's when you wonder why do certain guys not make it in the pros, like Gabe DeVoe or whatever from Shelby. Why did he never get a chance? He can sit there and shoot threes all day, but can he guard Russell Westbrook? And that's the issue that we're going to have with Steph when we get to that point.
You also got to
he
look
didn't
at
have
it
good
too.
defense as well.
You also
Right.
got to look at it as well. Does Steph even play that long?
Well,
Not everybody's LeBron James. Thinking he can just play till he's 40.
LeBron's trying to. He's a stat collector.
That's what he is right now.
He's trying to accumulate as many things as possible to build his legacy. Say, I've got this, 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 and that, and that's what he's doing. And I don't think Steph needs to. I just think it's going to be interesting when LeBron retires, like we've talked with the championships. How many guys in his? What if LeBron retires? Let's say he stays with 4. Durant's got 2 right now. In the next 5 or 6 years, he gets 1, maybe 2. What about Steph? He's at 3 right now. Let's say he gets 1. What if all 3, Hunter, retire with 4?
Yeah.
What argument do the LeBron sexuals have then that KD beat him 2-1 head up pretty much, not counting the
Oklahoma City.
no, I'm counting that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying he got beat the last one. He was hurt. He wasn't even in.
Oh, you're talking about, okay.
So it's in the actual finals, he's 2-1 against him.
Mm-hmm.
Steph had a winning record against him, and they all have 4 finals.
I don't know.
Well, what would be their thing then? It's going to be funny to hear it. All right, now speaking of Measurements and greatness. I sent this to Hunter the other day. Let's talk about Juan Soto and this ridiculousness that Buster Olney come up with. Where is this article at? I want to lose my mind. You ever heard of crush factor, Hunter?
What the hell is crush factor? Is that like
That's
your
the
drink?
new stat.
Is that what you're drinking?
That's the new
That's when
stat.
you're drinking a nice orange crush, and then you just factoring in how much of a sugar rush you get after the second sip. Is that what the crush factor is?
Them crushing the can and going crush.
I'm just gonna so folks, for years, if you've followed us at all on Saturdays and on this show at all, we're not fans of the stat war. It's a made up stat, not a real stat. Nobody ever does it except Major League Baseball. Like if I went to Gene or college baseball and said, give me your WAR stats for your guys. They don't know. They don't have that stuff. How do you get more WAR today, Coach? Well, I need you to walk and not get out. And then if there's a fly ball, if you don't catch it, it's not going to count against you. But if you do try to catch it, you can boot, whatever. Anyway, it's stupid. So now let's Buster, because here's my theory, Hunter, and you wrote your paper on it about bigger, faster, stronger. They have to have something to sell to today's kids. You're watching something we've never seen before.
Right.
These guys are amazing. Why can't they just be great? And this guy is as good as Albert Pujols or as good as Barry Bonds, not better than Barry Bonds or better than Babe Ruth or better than Michael Jordan. Or, like, again, when you tell someone LeBron's the second best player ever, they take it as an insult. Like, there's a lot of you tell me I'm the second best person on anything that's ever been done on this earth, I'm not going to take it as an insult. I'm trying to think of something.
There's a lot of people that have done something. And for you to be the second best at it,
Right. Pretty damn good. It's not an insult.
No.
If you're on the Mount Rushmore. So here's the ESPN. They pumped up WAR for ages to pump up Mike Trout, and what they got out of it is 0 330 batting average seasons, 0 50 home run seasons, 0 120 RBI seasons, 0 200 hit seasons, 0 40 double seasons, 0 40 stolen base seasons, 0 200 hit seasons, 0 gold gloves, and 0 playoff game wins. Just win a fucking game. One. Tim Tebow right now has the same number of playoff wins as Mike Trout. He's got more in the
NFL.
In his professional athletic career.
He's got more. He's got one.
He's got 2 rings. Tebow's way better athlete than Mike Trout. Eat it, Trout fans. Where's Casey Raynor? He texted me last night. I love him to death. He's funny. All right, we have years. This is Buster Olney's. We have years of watching Juan Soto bash home runs, win awards, and obliterate the benchmarks.
What benchmarks did he obliterate?
But maybe the most fun will be in seeing how he invades the thoughts of an intent of opposing pitchers. What in the this is where we're going now.
He's invading his brain.
He's invading the other pitcher's thoughts. He's only 22 years old with intense smiles and subtle sneers. His face betrays how absurdly often he diagnoses the pitcher's plan against him, how he correctly anticipates particular pitches, even when he doesn't swing. You can see in the shuffle in the batter's box and his stare to the mound the great competitive arrogance he has. I'm just trying to read it as dramatic as me because that's what it reads to me.
I'm about to say he's
But how else do you read that?
He's really trying to sell it.
But how else do you read those words? Than like that. All right, already he possesses all the elements of the best hitters, the ability to make contact. When he hits the ball, he typically hits it hard. Oh, very hard. He also has developed a unique understanding of how opponents plan to get him out. Throw it where he can't hit it.
They're making this guy sound like he's not human and can
He has
read
developed a
people's minds.
unique understanding of how opponents plan to get him out, which also aids him in making that contact
Has he?
and in driving the ball with power.
Buster, how do you know that he's done this? Did he tell you?
He rarely
Has he told you?
pitches out of the strike zone. A special hitter like Soto deserves a special statistic that can reflect those layers of skill and understanding.
So, he told you that he has developed a special skill that no one else has ever done this before.
Oh shit, man. ESPN. Y'all can, man. Please hire me.
It's
If
so-
y'all want somebody to just make up stuff and blow smoke up
Well,
people's
listen,
asses,
I won't talk too much about the network that I really hate, but
they keep what they do is they say, "All right, Hunter, I want you to be the best left fielder," and they add up stats until those stats,
make you better.
yeah. All right, go. I'm sorry.
But I just don't understand. Like, this is why ESPN's got a lot of people that are leaving. Straight up, I think that's why a lot of the people that used to work there are not returning back, and they're voiding their contracts and they're moving on somewhere else. But that's neither here nor there. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If ESPN did not show sports games, I would not watch their channels. But that's just me. Back to what you just read. That was so eloquent.
Oh,
in
he's
this,
not.
it's so eloquent.
He's not even done.
He's not done.
No, not even
so
done.
eloquent describing Juan Soto to now be the greatest hitter that the game has ever seen at the age of 22 years old.
So
I'll give Juan Soto credit. Now, he is a good ball player,
Right.
and he does, in fact, at the young age, I think he was either 19 or 20, he has a World Series.
he's 21.
He was 21.
He's 21 right now.
Okay. All right. So he was 20. I think he was 20 then, because it was the year they beat the Astros. So, no, take that back. He was like 19 in some days.
First year was 19, second year 20, this year 30, 21.
So he does have a World Series under his belt. He does. At a very young age, too. But come on. I mean, like, every year, we still don't even talk about him as one of the best power hitters in the game until Buster Only over here is trying to prove us that we're wrong for thinking otherwise. For God's sakes, it's every year. I feel like for the past 2-3 years, all we've talked about is, and especially out of the National League, it's either Christian Yelich or Cody Bellinger from the Dodgers. That's just what I've been hearing.
So
God forbid he was in the American League and had to go, or not to mention, what does that make Fernando Tatis now? Didn't he just get a 14-year, like $440 million contract? And now we're talking about how Juan Soto is now the greatest thing since sliced bread? I just don't understand.
let me finish the last two paragraphs. And batting average doesn't cut it
Oh,
because it doesn't show the acute nature of his plate discipline.
what do you mean?
Like
It doesn't show. Well,
guys, if you had better plate discipline, you would have a higher batting average.
Yeah, right.
Duh.
Right.
I've got such plate discipline, Hunter. I'm batting 125 this year.
Yeah, I'm striking out, and I'm striking out. My plate discipline is so good. I know when to hit a home run or to strike out. That's exactly what they want me to do, and I'm great at it.
There have been some great high average hitters who are hackers. Slugging percentage can't really demonstrate his ability to consistently put the
Who
ball
are
in play
hackers?
with authority. I guess he's hating on Vladimir Guerrero. You mean one man's hacker is another man's I can hit any pitch you throw.
And what I don't understand is
ain't
why,
that right?
why is
if
he
I can
bashing?
hit it, what does it matter? What's a hacker?
Why is he bashing having a high batting average? That means he makes
to make his point.
he makes contact and gets on base.
You have to hate on the real stats, Hunter, to make your points.
Like, guys,
remember?
you realize that means you have to get on base. Like, just because you make contact and get thrown out
you
or
can
popped
have
out,
a good slugging percentage, Hunter, but have a ton of swings. Hold on, we're getting to it.
oh God,
His home run ratio and exit velocity, as good as they are, don't really show how efficient he is with his swing, especially in an era filled with a lot of hitters who generate gobs of missed swings. So we give you, and I said it word, it's not the crush factor, the crush quotient. Make it easier on you to say. Crush quotient.
all right. So what is the formula for this quotient?
I'm gonna probably run out of it because I got to pay $5.99 a month, but I'm gonna read as much as I can because I'm not a member.
Oh,
of
so
this.
it's further down.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
an
it keeps on going.
It's an equation.
A relatively simple statistic that reflects Soto's stunning mastery of what Ted Williams called the science of hitting. The crush quotient is this: total bases divided by number of swings a hitter takes. If you were like Barry Bonds or Mike Trout or Soto, and you know you're probably going to get very few pitches to hit in the strike zone, you need to do damage when you get them. So how many bases you get per swing is basically what a crush quotient is. Bases per actual swing.
Now,
It's not a bad idea.
I was about to sit here and tell you that is more feasible than war. Like, I can understand that, but at the same time,
it's just one stat.
Right.
War is like a. All right, the top part is this long,
into a stat.
then it's divided by a line that's this long.
Because, see, that's easy. You can sit there and say he was at the plate and took 5 to 6 swings.
Yeah.
When he made contact, he got either a single, a double,
Right.
triple, or a home run.
Today, Hunter took 7 swings and he hit 3 bombs.
Yes. Which, hey, if that's supposed to be good for your crush quotient, then great.
But let me ask you this.
That does not necessarily mean he's the greatest hitter of all time.
Right. Jose Canseco can do that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Takes 7 swings and hit 3 bombs. Tony Gwynn takes 7,000 swings and hits 370 and hits 3 bombs. Who's the better hitter?
Right.
Again.
I think someone asked this the other day, like a month ago or so, when I heard him in an interview. They asked Jose Canseco, said, do you think you're the one that started this whole swing for the fence or just strike out?
No. Been doing that since the 20s.
No, I know that, but it's just
shit.
like
We've been doing that since baseball started.
Yeah.
no.
Some of those
Where
boys.
it's just like
Have they met Cecil Fielder before?
that's just what they go for. That it's
Right, I
we know
understand
that.
that,
It's just
yeah.
it's either the strikeout and they come back and get a pat on the back because that's fine because it wasn't a home run, and that's all they were really looking for was either the home run. If you're not going to hit a home run, might as well strike out.
Baseball and basketball have the same mentality right now.
If it's not a 3, then it's not a good shot.
Homer 3, home run, nothing. Everything else is not good, and it is hurting both games, in a certain way. It's the argument could be made that things change, but I think the thing about baseball, Hunter, where they keep coming up with these new stats, is the bigger, faster, stronger lie that they have to push doesn't hold up in baseball because the stats are always the same. Like year after year after year after year, and then one guy tweeted at me one time about the ballparks they play in.
They haven't changed in a damn long time.
Well, honestly, I don't give a rat's ass. Because any argument, it's just stupid. Because I don't even want to get into it. It's stupid to argue about the damn ballparks. Hit it out of the park. And most of the people, it seems like, Hunter, that make those arguments have never actually played.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you swing a baseball, you're either doing, from my experience, you're trying to hit it out, you're trying to make contact, or you're just trying, I don't know, you're just looking for a ball to go by for a ball. I don't understand what I don't know, the strategy with what these people are talking about. All right, now
they're talking about how the ball carries it.
Right, now
field.
Baseball did change the baseball again this year.
They've unjuiced it.
Did raise the seams, whatever it is, to get more drag on it. I'm looking. There was another thing, Hunter, I want to talk about is minor league baseball rules. Do you see these? They're going to try.
I have no idea.
Experimental rules in the minors.
Okay.
Juan Soto also, Hunter, for all that, wonderful use of the English language, in his 150 game season that he played, he hit 34 home runs. I know that I grew up in the years of the juiced era and everything, but if you're swinging for the fence every damn time and you're still not hitting 50 bombs a year, what are we talking about here? Same thing with the NBA guys. So the whole team is scoring 10 more points than everyone else, but the top guys still getting the same. So that means y'all created an offense just so we can watch scrubs toss up threes in the corner, is what they've done. And why are we getting excited about someone? Listen, 280, 34 homers, 110 is nothing to sneeze at. But my God, it's not worth creating a new stat about his greatness, is it?
No, it's not. It's not worth you taking the time to write that soliloquy or whatever you just tried to put out there that makes him seem like he is the greatest baseball player up and coming that we've ever seen.
Can someone hit 350? Just do that, and then I'll have a conversation with any of it. You know what I mean? Like, so many people have hit 350, and nobody does anymore. Like, where's Bonds, Tony Gwynn,
Well,
all
you
of
said
them,
it at 350. No one gets to hardly 300
That's
anymore.
what I'm saying. Like,
It's
like
250,
to
260.
to wow me if it's not above, like Pujols' first 10 years he averaged 325. I'll start there and then we'll talk wow. Like if you're talking 280, I'm like, okay, that's Pujols' 13th best year. Like what, you know what I mean? Like he had 10 years.
It goes back to those dang little nerd stat heads that want to do this with their glasses where they talk to you and say, but batting average doesn't mean anything.
Bullshit.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I will say this till the day I die. The name of the game is the dude throws the ball, and what are you supposed to damn do? Hit it. And guess what happens
Hunter,
when you
it's
hit
not
it?
get out is the name of the game.
Oh, God. You were supposed to make contact and hit the ball and score, okay? That is the basic, simplest premise of baseball. There are 9 guys trying to stop you from scoring, and there are 9 guys trying to hit the ball to score. Well, what is batting average? How successfully you hit the baseball.
I don't see me.
I mean, there's a difference, obviously, if you want to take in. Now, imagine if we did averages where you just made contact with the ball, whether you got out or got on base.
I just don't see me sitting on a baseball team hitting 320 and a guy hitting 280, and you're going to argue with me. Think about this. I could have been on a team, and I probably was on a team, playing shortstop, hitting 330, and the guy hitting 280 at DH thought he was better than me based on that idea. He's not catching a ball, making any plays defensively, and batting 280, but he hit 4 home runs, and I hit none, so he's better than me. He's dumbass shit. All right, baseball and their stuff. Maybe that's why nobody's watching, you dummies. All right, the rules, I want to look at some of those. Here's the experimental rules. Some of them, we'll see what Hunter likes. So there's a defensive shift ban, larger bases,
Defensive shift ban.
electronic strike zone,
That's stupid.
15-second pitch clock.
I like the pitch clock.
Now, Tanner and I were doing the Yetis game.
Yeah, can they
And
do a pitch clock for them?
We had them on about when it felt like it was taking forever from the other team, and the guys were pitching between 20 and 25 seconds. So 15 sounds really quick for a lot of people, but I promise you, it's not as quick as you think because, we were sitting there going, throw the ball, and he was throwing about 23, 25 seconds.
Right.
So I would say 20 to make everybody happy.
Well,
and then adjust down
you
from
gotta-
there or up from there.
To me, you got to do this. I feel like I've said this for years. I've liked the pitch clock. I do, because it's in the back of the pitcher's mind that I got to get the ball, I got to get set by this certain amount of time, and then, of course, I got to pitch it. Not only that, but I've always wanted baseball to implement how many times batter can step out of the box.
That one drives me crazy.
How many times you got to fiddle with your gloves?
Like that was one thing. Like once I got in the batter's box, that's the thing I didn't understand. Some people do. I never messed with anything. Like I don't see why.
Like I get stepping
the
out
looking,
and
you got to put a foot out and look at the coach.
Yeah, that's it. I was about to say, I understand looking back saying, am I swinging away? Am I taking? Are you sending Jimmy over here to second? You want me just to hold? Like, I get
had to
that,
explain
but
signals
not
to Andre
turning
the
back
other
and
day.
going, that's your favorite damn chain on your body and then checking your bat out and shit. Like, I don't understand that, man.
Some guys like to line up the Easton or TPX with the pitch. Do you know anybody that did that?
I think one person
Yeah,
did it.
some
on the
people
field.
will. It's
I
baseball
always
players
like-
are weird about that
Superstitious.
stuff.
I always tried to make
Superstitious.
sure I lined my knuckles up. That's what I always
Well, see,
did before the game.
that's not a luck thing. That's a hitting thing, and that's a smart thing. We're talking about guys like after every pitch, I got to click my cleats twice.
Some people did that on our team. too,
Right.
you know?
Now-
I was like,
Now, I will say, I
Stepping in.
always liked when I got in the batter's box, I always liked reaching over, touching the other side of the plate with my bat, and then bringing
that's
it
what I
up.
did.
Just kind of
Every pitch,
gauging.
though? We're talking every pitch.
Not every pitch, but when I got in the bat and when I got in the box.
All right.
Now, if I'm stepping out, looking at what the third base coach is doing, I'll probably do it again when I step in.
Gotcha.
But not I take the pitch and I'm still standing there. I'm not going to go, wait, I have to touch.
All right, so infield positioning rule, it's going to be like no more than 2 guys on one side of the infield.
Okay.
So, like, you could still get away with it, I guess, by putting a guy in the outfield,
You
which
can
is
get- you
kind of
can-
what it is anyway, because you got to put your shortstop on the other side of second, and then your third baseman be the only person on that side of the field.
Yeah, you got this, and you just put the second baseman in shallow outfield.
Here's what, as far as that goes, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't care. Like, go opposite field.
God's got to be good enough. Kevin, if he's not swinging to get on base, he's not good enough. You know what I'm saying?
He's in the pros.
I know. But what did we just talk about? If it's not a home run, it's just going to take the strikeout. I mean, hey.
Like, how do you hit?
Hey, boo-boo. How do you hit Oppo?
How do you hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball Oppo? Well,
maybe depending on what side of the
I
bag that you're
honestly-
swinging from.
Just
You're
learn
in
how
here-
to hit backside.
the shift, I get it where the purists would be like, that aggravates me because they're looking at it weird. But again, if that's where you hit it every time, what am I supposed to do? Let you just get a base hit? Just jam it in the right, Like, I don't get
Just
it.
wait on it
Right.
and push it Oppo.
And bunt. Learn to bunt. Like, I don't know if you need a rule. Now, I'll say this. Put it this way. Kids, you shouldn't shift in kids' ball.
You shouldn't.
No. That makes me mad. Like,
That's stupid.
we had a team that shifted on us in coach pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Not like 11 and 12 years old, and there's like a big giant 12-year-old that hits bombs or rockets up the first
Right.
baseman's butt.
Right.
They shifted on coach pitch.
Yeah. Try hard.
This is the same league, Hunter, that wouldn't let me throw underhanded to my 5-year-old daughter in a 7 and 8-year-old boys coach pitch league. The same league that wouldn't let me
Tryhards.
even coach to my kids.
They're just tryhards. I don't
That threw
understand.
me out of a game for telling my son where to stand in the batter's box.
I've never understood why some leagues like that are for younger kids, they're tryhards. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like try harder instead of like do good? Like that's the same.
No. It's like, listen, they're kids.
Yeah.
Let them be out here and have fun.
Right.
Not I'm trying to be the most winningest coach in coach pitch.
Oh God, that one coach, Hunter, he was
Like my kids are gonna shift, and I'm teaching them how to hit opposite at like
so
10 years old. Like
right.
no.
The same coach that shifted, Hunter, this is what he'd do, Tanner, when they were batting. So he knew our kids, we had a young team and couldn't get anybody out really. If we threw them, like, you got to set, limit number of runs. You can score 8, 10 runs, whatever it is. Well, our first baseman if he would miss it or we would throw it to our first baseman when we threw it, he would just send them. Before he was even caught, he would tell his runners to go to second. Now, before his runners even got to second, he would yell at them from the pitcher's mound to score. The kids hadn't tagged second, Tanner, and he's yelling score. Now, this is with my first baseman holding the ball at first base. What kind of jackass sees his kid going to second base and the first baseman holding the ball and yells score because I know this kid is going back to throw it away if he throws it? That dude is a jackass. If I ever knew his name, I'd say it on the radio on Saturdays. I'm asked, Terry won't give it to me. He won't give up nothing about what's going on over there. That really aggravates me on that. But anyway, yeah. So any of those rules besides the
No,
so we did pitch
the
count.
only one I liked was the pitch clock. Basically, I like that.
Yeah, that defense.
Now I
shift
can
change
go
is
either way
stupid.
on time. If you want to boost it up a couple seconds, that's fine. 15 seconds to me doesn't sound too bad at all. Isn't it just you get 15 seconds from when the catcher throws it back and it hits you in the glove? It
Yeah.
doesn't start when the catcher has it.
It's saying they may allow. There's arguments over whether the shift, all three guys have to be in the infield or not. So that's
So
the
you
argument.
can't have a guy in the
So
outfield.
you can't have a guy in the outfield, and all three have to stay on the dirt or something. Maybe
Okay. Just have one deep infield.
they're working on details on it. They're tested out in the minors this year. Different types is what this is talking about.
I'm not big on the defensive shift rule. Whatever. Like it's strategy. Everybody's going to be different. I'm fine with it, but
What about electronic strike zone?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
Tom and Terry would hate it, obviously, because they're umpires, but at the same time, I'm like, how many times are we going to see it human error wise, and it's pretty costly. If we have the technology, then
Right.
yes. But at the same time, I get it. Human error is what makes the game.
But here is what we're arguing over. Here's a different opinion. Okay, here's the devil's advocate on that. And I'm not going like the old school way to do it. Blah blah blah. If it's close enough to be called a strike,
It's a strike.
you should swing. Right? I mean, in my opinion, if it's close enough to be called a strike, you can foul it off, hit it,
Well, you
whatever
keep it alive.
whatever you do. But if it's close at major league level, they're not missing by a foot. This isn't 9-year-olds and 10-year-old umpires. They miss by 2-3 inches if they miss. And again, Hunter, why are you looking for a ball? Right? I'm paying you $10 million. Why are we looking for balls?
Well, but another thing you can look at it too is then this gives now if you put an electronic strike zone in there, there is no reason for a batter or a manager to dispute a call because it's like, well, you know what the set strike zone is. So
they'll get mad.
They'll get mad regardless, but at the same time, it's like, listen, this is you've known we've had this set, and you've had obviously time to work on it and practice against a strike zone of this manner. I can't help that you decided to look on this one on a 2-2 count.
I think the biggest issue that we've had in sports, and I don't know if I'm being a poo-pooer or what on this, is allowing the coaches to say and act like total fools.
Bobby Cox made a career out of it.
Right. To umpires in all levels. Like, we're grown-ass men.
I know Bobby Cox was more of a career than just that,
Right.
but that's what he's famous for.
But we're grown-ass men. And that's what used to drive me crazy about, like, umpiring kids, umpiring when I was in college and stuff, is that you wouldn't raise your voice or talk to me like this
On the street.
anywhere else besides
In the parking lot.
Even in this, even 10 feet away in this parking lot. And I can't say nothing because it's my job. But again, what other job do we have in this world where it's okay for someone else to just scream and yell at you and call you names, call you stupid, call you ignorant? And so the cat's out of the bag is the problem. So I'm okay on the electronic strike zones in that manner because, they are baseball people argue over everything, and we're arguing. And strikes drive me crazy. Like, you get 3.
Yeah.
That's all you say to coach. Like, on the first pitch, something's low across the knees, and I heard Alice, bring it up a little, blah, blah, blah. Time. Like, coach, that's strike 1. It's right across the knees. You got 2 more. He can swing at either one of them 2 if he wants.
Right.
The problem is, you'll notice in sports, Hunters, is that players, coaches, fans, they really, really, really don't like blaming themselves. It's never your own fault or your team's fault for your failure.
Well,
I've seen
they don't
numerous
admit
Carolina
they're wrong.
fans bitching about the referees in a Florida State game. If you win by 10, do the referees have anything to do with it? So what I'm getting at is that we've got to the point where maybe having electronic for pros might even save time, because what you're saying is that we don't have these assholes arguing over stupid calls.
We don't have them bitching because,
Right.
like I said, you know what the strike zone is.
Right.
The MLB is probably going to let you know and let you have some sort of equipment to work on it. They're not just going to throw you out there blind and have it change week to game. That would
I
be
also
silly.
know, Warren, like, what's the umpire's role, like, in that? So is he holding like a beeper or vibrator, and it vibrates and he goes and he yells strike, or does, when it comes across, a light goes off or a noise? I
think you could do
confetti.
something. I think you could do something
I'm just trying
to where it's a strike, comes through the zone.
But you got to have an umpire at the plate. What
I know.
for plays at the plate? Balks.
I know.
If he's just standing there like,
you could do a buzzer or like a vibrator.
Is that the
you have
start until we
that'd
get
probably be the
full on
start.
robots?
Right. That would be the start. 100%. That'd be the start.
We're gonna
That's just what
build
you have to do.
robots
But
to
you gotta
make
think,
them be the umpires.
if there's any play at the plate, somebody's got to be there to call it.
So listen, it doesn't take away what he has to do.
Cause foul balls down the line. You got to have something.
It just, if anything,
My thing is that is missing strike calls by this much that damn important in a 162 game ball season?
Ask the coaches and the players that get all fired up about it. Now, listen. Do you know what I could see?
How many times did you strike out? 4? How many of them were swinging?
If you say none of them, I'm going to be mad.
Well,
How many of them were looking? How many of them was looking?
I think like 3.
You feel bad about those? You feel like you got your money's worth?
One of them was a bullcrap strike because it was in the other's batter's box.
Yeah, that's what the robot umpire said.
There you go. Listen, if anything,
Close enough to hit.
If anything,
he wasn't there to watch you strike out.
If anything, an automated strike zone, whatever, however you want to call it, I'm just like, if anything, it makes really the plate ump's job easier.
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest thing I've ever heard, but to me, it'll make not only his job easier of calling the balls and the strikes, but also makes his job easier because he's not going to get the shit heckled out of him, hopefully, when the strike is called, because he can just look at the coach and say, hey, buzzer.
Yeah.
This buzzer went off, so let me tell you, if I wouldn't have called it, then I would have been wrong, and everybody watching on television would have figured it out anyways because the electric strike zone's right there. So,
I mean, really, honestly, it should have, every time there's a strike, something go off on the big giant scoreboard. Strike!
Well, think about it.
Get the fans involved.
We got a strike zone on television.
I know what's going to happen. It's going to be the mascot on the TV, the pre-recorded doing balls and strike calls. And so every time's a strike, it's going to have, Fred Bird up there going, 1, 2, and he'll take his mask off. You're out for strike 3. That's what they would end up being. Just
they could do it. They could get it. They could get away with it. We have the technology. Think about it. You watch a baseball game now. They got a strike zone on the television.
Right.
They got the box right there. Me and you can see it sometimes plain as day where the ball hits on that box. But
I guess some people watch baseball different. I've never been the one that sits there and I guess I see it from a different world, Hunter. I never sit there and look at it, and when the umpires call balls and strikes, I don't yell or get upset at any of it. I'm more like
depends on the game.
I'm watching the batter, and I'm like, why didn't you swing at that?
Now I'm opposite.
Swing.
I am to a degree how you are. I am that way when my team's batting. I'm like, why didn't you swing? But when my guy's pitching and he misses the call on that, I'm like, damn, really?
No, the
really
balls
Blue?
and strikes are not.
Really, Blue?
They could listen. After watching Greg Maddox throw it in the dugout for 10 years and strike people out, I can watch whatever and be fine with the strikes. That's my point, Hunter. Is that you get what I'm saying? If it's close enough to be called a strike, it used to be. Even the major league umpires, if the catcher catches it, I'm calling it a strike.
Do you actually throw one in the dugout?
Well, Tanner, this is all I got to pull up for you. Watch this. Greg Maddox strike zone wide. And go to images. And then click on this bad boy.
Someone threw one in the dugout for one of my teams.
This is Greg Maddox's called strikes outside the strike zone. Yeah. Long as the catcher catches it, baby, that boy's a strike. Look at the inside corner, Hunter. He's got like 7 inches of red in there.
He's painting that corner, baby.
Yeah. If it didn't hit your chest and the catcher caught it, Tanner.
Hey, he's painting that corner.
And that's what they used to say.
He's working them edges.
Greg Maddox couldn't pitch with K-zone. I'm gonna put it that way. He made it when he made it, Hunter. Congratulations for him. But if he pitched in today's pitches, throwing 92 miles per hour with K-zone,
but he doesn't.
That's one that I argue in the past couldn't play today.
But he doesn't.
And it's not. I'm not saying he wouldn't get guys out. I'm saying it'd be tougher because the K-zone would be smaller. But then you'd be watching on TV, being like, why is Maddox getting the ball caught, almost hitting people? Look at that. All right, that's my Greg Maddox.
Think how many people he would walk in today's baseball now.
Yeah, he almost never walked anybody. I wonder why. All right, Hunter, we talked tournament, right?
Yes.
Talked my money. We talked Major League Baseball. Do we talk the NFL guys? Saints and everybody?
We ain't talk to NFL at all.
We just mentioned Dak and we mentioned the contracts. Got you.
Right.
So Drew Brees retires. They give Taysom Hill a weird contract.
Nothing yet in stone with Jameis.
Right. Brady stays in Tampa. So right now, Hunter, where are we at with quarterback situations on who needs one still? Who's looking for one?
I can tell you this. As of 8 minutes ago.
As in 8 minutes ago, I had 3 pins, and I don't.
As of 8 minutes ago, I don't know. Here's a pin over here or something here. As of 8 minutes ago, the New England Patriots have added 4 new players.
Okay.
They've added Jonnu Smith, the tight end, Devon Gotcha. I can't make this up if I'm pronouncing it how it looks. It's Gotcha.
They got him.
Trent Brown, Jalen Mills. So they've got, not to mention, they didn't have it put on there as well. They have come to an agreement with Matt Judon. So make that 5, who was the outside linebacker for the edge rusher for the Ravens. So they're hitting free agency immediately.
They've got
in New England.
They got
cap space.
They got cap space. Yeah,
they do.
You asked earlier. Sorry, I did find something for you. Whether Indiana had made the tournament? No, they just fired their coach after 12. Archie Miller after 12 and 15 season. So that answers your Indiana question.
Archie Miller.
He played at NC State.
And I feel... No, this is a different Miller that coached at Arizona. Never mind. Now, Tom...
No, it might be the same one.
Is it the same?
I think Archie did.
Did he coach at Arizona and he was the one that was underneath all that scrutiny?
Yeah.
I might be thinking of the same guy.
Oh, yeah. North Carolina State. Archie Miller.
I don't know.
What?
I'm trying to think if he's the one that got caught with the Arizona scandal.
Arizona State. He was an assistant at Arizona State.
No, never mind.
His assistant at Arizona. Head coach at Dayton. Head coach Indiana.
Well, unfortunately, he got fired. Sean Miller.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Sean Miller is the one that's got all that paying a couple $100,000 to basketball players and whatnot, but that's beside the point. So New England's making big splashes. Drew Brees has in fact retired. Russell Wilson apparently...
I want to make one comment on the Saints.
Okay.
I want to congratulate you on winning the one and only Super Bowl that your team will ever win.
Kevin, I wanted to laugh my ass off yesterday when I saw that the Saints, or when I saw that Drew Brees announced his retirement, because I remember Saturday morning you picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Wonder why. Why do you think I won't pick them to make the Super Bowl next year, Hunter? Why do you think I won't pick them to make the playoffs next year, Hunter?
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying.
Watch them end up being good.
In fact, I told Andre this morning, I said, y'all just won the Super Bowl yesterday because your only competition just retired. They spanked you twice last year. Your only competition in the NFC just retired. Congratulations. Tampa just won next year's Super Bowl back-to-back. Brady with his 8th Super Bowl. Write this down. Put the date on it. Cut up the tape. I'll see you next year. And this time we'll be like, Kevin, you were right. Now, Hunter, anything else?
Watch them be good.
Who?
Listen. I'm not saying the Saints are going to be horrible.
Saints.
Hey.
I am.
Listen.
You pick them to make playoffs right now.
No, not make the playoffs.
Why not?
But 8-8 still doesn't make the playoffs.
Well, they won 12 games last year.
I know. I'm gonna say that. But what if they go 8-8, 9-7?
That's awful.
That's still a decent year for your first year without Drew Brees, a future first ballot Hall of Famer. How many? You asked the Patriots how they felt. I mean, they think that was a pretty decent year.
Huh?
They probably think this was a decent year without Tom Brady.
Hunter.
7-9.
First time they hadn't been in the playoffs in 20 years. Yeah, we had a decent year. You think that's what
you think it could have been worse?
Well, it could have been worse.
It's all about perspective. Think about it this way. Without Drew Brees, if they still go 9-7.
Who they beat 9 times?
They're beating y'all twice. Because y'all are ass.
No.
Atlanta is
not
ass.
this year. Not this year.
We're in North
promise you
Carolina.
this year.
He pointed at an announcer and said, we're beating y'all, and that wasn't even talking about the Panthers.
No, not
Shut
even
up
talking
with
about the
your
Panthers.
no-name team over there.
Last time I checked, we still made the playoffs. But,
Y'all don't have a quarterback. Y'all do have a quarterback and a name. Y'all ain't got no defense.
none.
Jesus, I don't know where I'm at with that.
They might beat the Panthers twice because Lord knows Tepper's trying to ship Teddy Bridgewater out, and who knows who he brings in but without him.
Panthers are trash anyway.
Let's do a way too early.
Way too early. New Orleans Saints record
4-12. Whoever the quarterback is that's not named Russell Wilson, 4-12. I don't know. You're halfway. You might be halfway right.
Listen.
Their division is so ass garbage that they might win 7.
Not
6,
only
7
that,
games.
not only that, Jameis Winston even went 7-9 with the Tampa Bay Bucks,
Yeah, I know.
and he's got a better roster right now than when he was in Tampa Bay.
He is going to go
with the
7-9.
Saints. He might go 7-9, 8-8.
There's Jameis Winston. That's what you get.
What if he goes 10-6?
What the fuck? Well, Matt Castle did one time. I guess anybody.
What if he
can.
goes 10-6? We don't know because, damn it, we haven't seen him
I
play
know.
without his eyes fixed.
I know.
All right.
This is so easy. The NFC is hot garbage. I think every team in the West will make the playoffs next year. Tell me they won't. Name me 2 teams in the East that's making it.
Tell you a team that won't make the playoffs in the West, probably the Seahawks if they move Russell Wilson.
I'm just looking at this, Hunter. If they move him, you're telling me that, get this, if Wilson moves, fuck. The Saints at 12 wins, the Seahawks at 12 wins, the Rams at 10 wins. 3 of the 4 teams with double-digit wins in the NFC got rid of the quarterback.
Yeah.
The other 12 teams are garbage, and the 3 of the 4s with the quarterback got rid of them.
I cannot tell you what these front offices are thinking and why they can't mend their agreements in the Seattle situation with Russell Wilson.
All we got left is Brady and
all
Rodgers.
I know is that if Russell Wilson is in fact gone from Seattle, then no, there will only be 3 teams that probably make it out of the West because Seattle will be clinging for dear life trying to find who's going to play quarterback.
Well, not if they trade it for number 1 pick. They won't be.
What would they give up for the number 1 pick?
Russell Wilson.
To Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I don't think they're taking that phone call. I would, but I don't think they are. If they're not taking a phone call trying to get Deshaun Watson from Jacksonville, they're surely to God not going to try and pick up the phone and get Russell Wilson. And besides, they can't. Remember, Russell Wilson has a no-trade clause. He decides where he goes. So even if they did offer
Miami
the first,
with the 2 pick. No, they 3.
They're 3. Jets are at 2.
Right.
Russell Wilson, his list.
Did he say Miami? It was, wasn't it? What was his list?
Vegas, Chicago. Those are the only teams left that need quarterback. He said the Cowboys and was it Jets?
Why wouldn't Dallas go ahead and trade Dak now? Because it's going to be cheaper to have Russell.
It is going to be cheaper. It is going to be cheaper.
Is it?
Listen, I read a report on the way down here. Adam Schefter put it out, and a couple other people have said that are close to the NFL, and they said the Bears are working on a huge trade package to make a swing for Russell Wilson. So, if that happens, then the Seahawks are out of making the playoffs. And who knows when Seattle will be relevant again, other than us talking about the great fall of a 12-4 football team.
Right now, guarantee me 4 NFC playoff teams.
4 NFC playoff teams?
Yeah, not even the 7. I want 4.
Green Bay,
that'll be in their neck.
Tampa Bay. So the 2 Bays are making it. The Rams are making it easily. And let me think of another. Well, someone's got to win the other division.
Well, I mean that.
Dallas.
I'm saying if you feel more confident in another team, you don't have to name every division.
I know, but if you just keep it simple like that, you are going to get a division winner regardless. So there's all of them that I've got for you. I said Dallas. I hate saying it, but unless Washington picks up a quarterback, I can't pick them.
So Dallas last year went 4-5 with Andy Dalton and the 31st defense. Is it of Terry and other people's position that if Dak Prescott would have been there, they would have went 7-2 in that span?
Probably not. Maybe 5-8.
Like, what's the argument that says, you know what? If we'd had Dak, who was 1-3 and beat y'all's dumbasses, because y'all can't
No,
jump
well,
on
no, this is
We're going
this
to pay
is-
that guy $40 million. And you know what? We'll probably go 7-2.
this
in
is
those
how I
games.
look at it.
It's insane to me.
This is how I look at it.
It's fine
That's
with
the
me.
only team right now with a known commodity at quarterback. Washington still hasn't figured it out. There are still huge question marks about trip over his own shoelace Daniel Jones up with the Giants. And Philadelphia is they're saying they want to make it work with Jalen Hurts. So I don't know what that is. So if I had to just go with who has the quarterback position
I got
figured
you.
out, it would be Dallas.
I got you.
That's the only thing. Like, I'm serious. I'm looking at you right now. If Washington had the quarterback, we're winning this division.
Let me put it in this perspective of what you just said, too. Dallas gave up 144 more points than Washington did last year.
I know.
144. For you math wizards out there, they only played 16 games, so that's close to 10 points a game more. So let's do 9 for fun. 9 points a game more.
If Washington had the quarterback, they would be the one that wins this division this year. When I was having my little
Dallas outscored y'all by 60 last year.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton outscored you by
I know.
60.
That's what I'm saying. Dak can outscore us too. He can. Offensively, I know that's where our problem is in Washington. 100%. Defensively, that's no problem. That ain't a problem in the world. We can stop anybody. At least keep them within the 21-22 mark. We can keep them below that. That's why we were top 5, top 6 defense last year.
Honestly, you know what you should do again in your draft? All defense.
Why don't you just draft
Well,
a
I think
quarterback?
we get rid of all the picks and swing for the fence and go get Russell Wilson.
Well, yeah.
Colin
you
Coward,
don't-
when I was in there doing the escapade I had to
terrible.
do before I came in here for the show, I saw that he was talking about it and said if Russell Wilson was smart, he would rethink it. Washington's got $30+ million in cap. Chicago's $16 million or $17 million over the cap. We had a better defense than Chicago last year, and we had a better offensive line than Chicago last year. So me sitting there listening to what Colin had to say, it makes perfect sense that really we're a better landing spot for a lot of these quarterbacks. Like even Deshaun Watson saying he would want to go to the Jets or to the Dolphins. I'm like, cool, I get it. They got a lot of money, and you would go in there and try and refix a franchise or something. Be the best quarterback in Miami since Dan Marino and the best quarterback for the Jets since butt fumble Mark Sanchez. But if you want to win,
I know who your
all these
quarterback's
quarterbacks, if they want to win, the best spot is Washington. If you say Mitch Trubisky,
There it is. You know it. It's the best fit. Because the list is getting smaller.
oh, it is. I know.
Alex Smith, you're not getting back.
Nope.
Brissett is the highest paid on the list. Trubisky, Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, AJ McCarron, Andy Dalton, Colt McCoy. Like, none of those are any type of a future.
Huh.
So,
Mitch Trubisky is the youngest of the group, and where you could probably give him nowhere near the amount of money everybody else would want because he just probably wants to play again.
he's the youngest, most, if you want to put it, promising. If you're trying to win now, Fitzmagic. Well, all right. I'd go Andy Dalton, Alex Smith, or Fitzmagic, any of them. I'm
Well,
happy
Alex
with
Smith's
any of
out the
them.
window.
Obviously, Alex Smith is. So, I mean, with y'all's defense, Andy Dalton or Fitzmagic's going to win 8, 9, 10 games. So, I don't know about Trubisky. I just don't trust him. Problem with, you said, talking about the Giants a minute ago. I don't trust Duke, North Carolina, Ohio State quarterbacks. Just don't even talk to
Not
me
just
about
that. You've said it multiple times, though, when we talk about the whole Deshaun Watson thing, what people are wanting to give up for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better winning percentage coming out of Chicago right now with Mitch Trubisky. And he had what Washington has in a great defense.
And he's $25 million cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Listen,
and won't have to give up draft picks.
I'm not scared to roll the dice. If he's just looking for another opportunity, we could probably get him on a short-term deal. Hell, Jameis signed a 1-year deal.
All right, I got one for you. What about Fitzmagic and Trubisky? Let Fitzmagic.
We got 4 quarterbacks in there trying to duke
Who's
it
in
out.
there now?
Kyle Allen and Heineke.
Oh, hell.
We just signed Taylor Heineke to a 2-year extension. Hell, we just pissed on that money.
Yeah, fuck him.
What about all these quarterbacks
They
that are
pissed
in
on
the
enough
draft?
We're not
too,
gonna
though?
be-
They've pissed on enough money in Washington, Hunter.
to answer your question about the quarterbacks in the draft, Tanner, I would love to be able to have my opportunity to get either like Trey Lance or Justin Fields because I feel like Justin Fields keeps dropping.
They messed up and won the division.
The problem is we messed up and won the division. We don't have any trade capital to move up, and we're picking 19th. They're all going to be taking. A lot of them say at least the best 5 within the top 10, maybe top 15. So that's it. Listen, I'd love to have, if I could, and we could get our hands on Justin Fields. I feel like people just keep sleeping on him. I'd love to go and get him. I think it would be reasonable if him or Trey Lance falls to like the 15 area for us to move up to that. That would be easier than if we tried to get in the top 10.
Yeah.
But we have to think realistically, though. Ron Rivera, I don't know if he wants a young rookie quarterback because we just won the division last year. We're potentially potentially in win now mode.
What you guys in New England are doing, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what New England's doing because New England essentially is in a great position to rebuild.
Is he going to draft or because Cam's only getting $5 million?
Well, it's a $14 million deal, but a lot of it's incentivized.
I thought it was only 5. That's fine. Either way,
it's 1 year, $14 million. But what I'm getting at is, so they're picking 15th. They have an opportunity to where they could move up and whatnot if they wanted to and try and get one of these quarterbacks if they want one. But it does. I guess Bill really just doesn't want to work with a young quarterback. I don't get it. I really don't. But where we're different than New England.
Where did you get that at? Because it says average salary $5 million 1 year, signing bonus $2 million, cap hit $5.5 million. I'm not saying like, hey, you're wrong.
I'm like, well, I need to double check.
I'm looking off of the Sport Track that does the thing. It says 2021 deal, right? Okay,
right.
Yeah, 2021 $5 million. Well, I thought I read something yesterday that said that his spot wasn't guaranteed. So, I guess what it means for those guys, are they trying to pull off a Darnold or Tua from one of these teams that are going to draft a young quarterback?
I am not sure.
Like New England, I could see that. Hey, let's bring Cam back if we're gonna what if they brought in Jacob? No, they've already had Brissett.
They had Jacoby Brissett. If they wanted him, they could have went and got him.
Who's he bringing in? Alex Smith? Like what's he?
Well, listen.
Is he going with Cam?
What I don't understand is, we always talk about how they're wanting to be cheap on things up in New England. They don't want to pay nobody, but they just gave up huge money to bring in Jonnu Smith at the tight end position. I think he got like $35 million guaranteed. Like he got a huge contract. But for Cam, let me look at this. All right, hold on. I'm getting closer.
Who signed in Indy?
Comp update. Patriots are finalizing. This was 3 days ago. 1 year deal worth close to $14 million for Cam Newton. That was from Adam Schefter 3 days ago.
Well, I think Schefter's wrong because this is the actual contract.
Well, I'm unsure. We have 2 different sources right now, so that's all I can tell you.
Shefty's reporting rumors and innuendo. I'm looking at the actual contract. Whatever. Either way, I just some of these guys I don't know what to do or what they're doing.
Because I'm looking at this. I mean, they're giving all these guys.
Are you guys trying to
money.
get? I mean, y'all might be trying to get Sam Darnold.
I know we're in thoughts about it. That's one team that's always been thrown out in talks with the Jets about Sam Darnold is Washington, and it's because we're the one random team outside of the Bears that is a quarterback away from making a little bit of noise in the playoffs. That's just what it is. Now the Rams went out there and made that crazy move because they said we're technically probably a Super Bowl away from a consistent quarterback.
All right, who says no? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You guys offer this year's and next year's all the draft picks to Tampa for Tom Brady. Who, if I called both of them, Ron Rivera
says no to that.
You don't sell your soul or your draft pick
he
for
doesn't.
Brady?
You don't sell the farm.
You don't sell the 2 years.
Don't sell the farm.
That's all you're asking.
I know that's all you're asking for.
for Tom Brady.
But what happens?
What if Tampa calls and says,
But what happens if in year 1 Tom Brady gets hit and snaps his
that's
ankle?
what happens? What happens if he wins the Super Bowl?
That's just what happens. Hey, I
You're
get
just
it.
gonna let Brady go to every team and win a Super
Well, that's
Bowl
what I'm
with
saying.
every
Like,
team now?
if you're in Tampa's position, think about it, and someone offered you 14 picks for a 44-year-old player, okay.
Tampa says
And
yes.
we just won the Super Bowl.
Tampa
with
says
him.
yes because they're
Okay,
like
you're saying they don't say no. Okay.
Tampa doesn't say no. Washington says no, but it's just because unless you can guarantee that a
Would
Super
you say
Bowl
no to a
comes
whole
out.
year? All 7? This just 1 year?
Oh, for 1 year, probably. I would probably
do
say
that?
yes to that. I would do that. I'm not
It'd have
giving
to be
up
2 if I'm Tampa, though.
I would say I'm not giving up 14 picks. There's no way for Tom Brady.
And does Brady want to even
let me
leave
tell you
the
something.
Bucks
But here, let me
anyways
tell you
yet?
something. If it was 32-year-old Brady, probably. I'm not doing it for 42 or 43-year-old Tom
Mahomes?
Brady.
Giving up 2 drafts for Pat Mahomes?
We still got $40 million in cap space, don't we?
Psh.
And the cap goes back up next year, huh?
All right, let's see.
Does Pat Mahomes, yes or no, or a quarterback of his caliber like an Aaron Rodgers, not turn Washington into possibly a Super Bowl favorite?
Well,
For
yeah,
God's
maybe.
sakes, Tom
Yeah.
Brady did that to Tampa Bay.
All right.
I mean, Pat went.
Well, that's
back,
why I was asking. Why wouldn't y'all offer everything you could to Tampa for Tom
because
Brady?
Tom Brady is a little bit older and a little
He'd
bit.
say no. Tom would say, I'm
Tom would be
retired.
like, I don't really gonna want to go
All
up
right.
there.
Let's answer some quick questions, then we're going to do some starting lineups. All right. Next year's quarterback in Miami is...
I think it's something tells me a deal doesn't get done and it's Tua.
Next year's quarterback in the Jets is...
Zach Wilson. I think they draft him at 2.
Next year's Giants quarterback.
Daniel Jones.
What if they pulled off a New York trade? I don't think the Jets would do it because if he end up being good, it'd embarrass the shit out of him. In the same town.
In the same town. Yeah, you're right.
The quarterback for the Washington
Football
Warthogs.
team.
I'm not calling you football team. It's stupid.
Just call us Washington then.
Well,
Quarterback for
I'll call you the
Washington.
Washington as a lifelong Washington Redskins hater. I will call you the Washington soccer ninnies before I'll call you the football team.
Let's call us Washington.
You know what the ninnies are from? That's from a Family Guy thing. You ever seen that one?
I probably have.
He
I
went.
just haven't thought
So
about it.
Peter was he ended up being somehow he's Tom Brady's best friend and lead
Oh
blocker.
yeah, and he starts playing with the Patriots.
They get rid of him.
Yeah.
They trade him to the
Yeah.
They were called the something ninnies. This is what they were called.
I understand. I had to think about it for a minute.
All right. Who will be the quarterback of?
I didn't say who I was going to be quarterback of Washington.
Oh, I thought you did.
Nah, I think somehow it is Sam Darnold. I think they make a move for him.
Quarterback of the Chicago Bears.
This thing's picking up traction. I'm gonna throw a freaking.
Who's there right now? Nobody.
Mitch is gone, and technically, I think Nick Foles is still under
No,
contract.
Foles got traded to Philadelphia.
but-
he's
they
back
traded
on
him
the
back to
Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, they got their Super Bowl MVP back after paying some other random guy $100 million.
Then guess what? Yes, absolutely, it's going to be Russell Wilson because they have nobody. They have to land this.
Andy Dalton's about to be in Chicago.
What if they? What I don't understand is you've had a winning record with him.
Jameis.
I just don't understand why they don't just call up Mitch and say, "Look, we'll give you 2 years."
Oh, Chicago fans are done with Mitch Trubisky. It'll be Jameis Winston before it'll be him. They'd bring in Jameis and let him sling all over the field like they did with Jay Cutler.
But I don't see why not. A lot of these teams aren't taking a chance on Jameis. I mean, he was just underneath Sean Payton for a year. Hopefully, that reeled him in a little bit.
And with a good defense.
Now, come on.
Well, he needs to be with a good defense. You can't put him with a mediocre defense.
God no.
The quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going to go ahead and go on record right here. Big mistake.
You're stupid.
Big mistake.
You're stupid.
That's fine. The average number one pick being a bust to hit is way more bust on quarterbacks than hits. Give me my Jamarcus Russells, my Sam Darnolds, my Jared Goffs, my Matthew Staffords.
You won't be saying this when he balls out.
And does what in Jacksonville?
It's Trevor Lawrence.
If
he
a
goes 5 and
tree-
11, did he fall out?
right, if a tree falls in
He
the
ain't
forest,
going 5 and 11.
if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? That's the old question.
I can't believe you just looked at me and said he's not going 5 and 11 in Jacksonville. For God's sakes, everybody goes 5 and 11 in Jacksonville. Sometimes they go 0 and 16.
Except Blake Bortles
Blake Bortles
And
won
Mark-
a Super Bowl or won a playoff game.
and Mark Brunell, he was good. He was a poor
Didn't
man.
Byron Leftwich play pretty decent for
He
them
wasn't
for a
bad.
little while?
Brunell was a poor man's, and I don't even want to say poor man's because it's disrespectful to Brunell. But it's the best way you can describe it, though, is a poor man's Steve Young.
Brunell played in Washington.
Lefty could run, and I liked him. Could throw the ball, too. I like Mark Brunell. All right, quarterback of the Denver Broncos that we never talk about in all this. They ain't made a move.
Yeah, but they pick at 9 too. So
Right.
if they want, they could draft one. Cam's off the market. They're probably not going to go for Mitch. I say they draft one. They're sitting there at 9.
What? Jameis in the thin air, letting it ride.
That thing will fly, dude. He just let it go. He just let it go.
Trey Lance in Denver.
I about said Trey Lance, but I was either going to say Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
Trey Lance in Denver. Either one.
Well,
You think
think
they're
about
going to go
it.
there?
Well, think about who picks in front of them.
Carolina.
So if they don't take a quarterback, Denver might swoop in and take that quarterback.
Isn't the Alabama quarterback in the draft too?
Mac Jones. I think he'll be the last one to go. off the
Quarterback.
quarterbacks
Yeah.
in the first round.
Of the Raiders.
Where did
Derek Carr.
Zach Wilson play?
BYU.
And quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks.
Damn, I don't know. Mitch Trubisky.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're Seattle, like, unless you're trading for Deshaun Watson, what are you going to do?
Well,
what
this
are you,
is what I
what
don't
are you doing?
understand. If Mitch Trubisky's not on the roster and you just told me that they don't have Nick Foles anymore, they can't trade to you back a quarterback to take the spot of Russell Wilson. At least we could trade you damn Kyle Allen and Taylor
Where does
Heineke
Chicago,
together.
where does Chicago pick?
They're either 18th or 20th because they were a first round exit this year. They played in a playoff game, so they really don't have a pick either.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand what Chicago can give them.
All right.
That Washington couldn't just do better at.
It's time for Intern Corner.
Bim, 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 bim.
Intern Corner learns about life.
Bim, bim,
There was
bim,
something
bim, bim.
earlier he said he had never heard of Tanner. Oh, let's see. Hunter,
Yes.
he hadn't heard before you come in here. I was letting him jam
Mm-hmm.
to Limp Bizkit.
You've never heard Limp Bizkit?
We did some Faith.
Hmm.
Told him about how he's from Gastonia.
Listen, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay you don't know who Limp Bizkit is. I'm not going to sit here and crucify you for it. A lot of people don't. But they'll hear one song and not realize it's Limp Bizkit.
That's how I was for a second.
They were big. They covered a bunch of songs too. That was their big thing. All right, so we're gonna have a special segment here with intern Tanner, and I collected some things when I was a child called Starting Lineups by Kenner. Starting Lineups, and we've got them down the hall. I got a bunch of them in the hall. So what I like to do is teach Tanner about the past. He's a young man, and we like to go over some, music a lot of times. But today we're going to do baseball. And sports, and we're going to go through 3 guys on the wall who he's never heard of, and we're going to start in football. Now Tanner picked 3 guys. Now Tanner, hold that up to the thing really good so everybody can see. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Harvey Williams. Harvey Williams, 1996 edition starting lineup. So we'll go see how much he's worth. Now I'm going to bet not much at all. Harvey was not a big star, Tanner. Harvey, pull up his stats here. He had 1 year of 1,000 yards rushing in 1995. Actually, the year before that came out. So that's probably why he ended up on that starting lineup. I was trying to figure that out myself. Then I looked back at the stats. 94, 983 yards, 95, 1,100 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Not terrible, but, he was just okay. Drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, went to LSU. I started with him because I really don't have anything much or special to say or any memories actually of him playing much of all at all. He was just a second string running back, except for that 1 year, 2 years. He got 900 and 1,000 yards. So that's about all I got to say there on him. But let me look up his value real quick. And we said Harvey Williams, right?
Yeah.
Harvey Williams, anywhere from $10 to $18. $18 mint. As low as, geez, I bet some of those are open good. I don't even know. Near mint. Anyway, 18 is the highest on that one. So honestly, I thought that was going to be like $4.50. If you want to know the truth. So that's way more worth than I thought it was. So put Harvey to the side. Show him one more time to the folks at home. There's Harvey Williams, former Raiders and Kansas City Chief running back. All right, let's go with one of my favorites. We're gonna go historical order. Let's go with one of my favorites baseball players here, and Calvin's favorite player of all time probably too. This is going to be, you can hold him up. This is Ray Lankford, St. Louis Cardinal, Ray Lankford. So Ray, center fielder, pretty good. I'm gonna say he's he's probably gonna end up. I think he's got voted in the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Team wise, he's one of the best. Batted .272, 238 homers, 968. MVP balloting twice, nowhere near at 16th and 18th. He was on the teams. The problem with Lankford was he was on the teams between the mid-'80s and the McGuire teams that didn't win anything. So, when you're the best player on a team that doesn't win anything, Hunter, how do you judge those guys? So
Right.
So it's kind of like almost like, put it this way, Dale Murphy with the Braves. He's kind of our Dale Murphy. Like, we all love him.
Right.
We think he could be a Hall of Famer possibly. He's in our Hall of Fame, but maybe not in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. And he was our best player for years, but we just wasn't. I would like to look up the years our winning, if it even says it. I don't think you can. I know you can find it, but not get to it that quick. Best year batting 306. Best home runs 31. This year is probably his best year, 295. Well, damn, Hunter, they need to write a new stat on Ray Lankford. He's got Juan Soto stats over here. Let's read this. 295. That's better than Soto. 31 homers. That's just 3 less than Soto. 105 RBI. Soto had 110. So according to Buster Owen, this is the greatest damn player you've never known about, Hunter. And I just told
and
you.
he obviously can maybe read people's minds, what that guy was saying.
Yeah, this guy can this guy read people's minds?
Listen,
too?
he gets in the minds of the pitchers as well.
That's what he was telling us.
Huh.
So let me pull this up one more time, guys.
Sure.
According to Buster Olney, this is the greatest baseball player of all time. Because Juan Soto is good, and he has the same number as Juan Soto. It's how stupid these new age stats get. And I'm like, because without even looking at it, Hunter, I just described Ray Lankford's career like, he's okay, he's good. I don't know.
Right.
And then you come over here and compare stats. Well, Juan Soto, he's the greatest thing ever.
It's this thing in business that we call comps, and they are very close comps on those two players.
I'm trying to get you a comp, even with the Braves. He's a worse Andrew Jones.
Andrew was damn good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's right below his. You know how, like, say Andrew, people are questioning whether he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say Ray is. I'm saying Ray's right below Andrew Jones' level to where he's not, but he was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if he's batting in the lineup, you're not saying,
well,
oh God, Ray Lankford's up.
With
that's
how
an easy out.
the Baseball Hall of Fame does their voting, everybody's a damn Hall of Famer to me because they don't want to put shit in there, so they can piss off.
All right, finally, let's show up our last one. Let's pull Tanner up here. The last one Tanner pulled off, and this one has got a little specialness in my heart on this. All right, Tanner, pull it up. This is Jamal Mashburn. Dun, dun, dun. His nickname. Can you guess what his nickname is, Tanner?
No.
Ha. No guesses?
No.
Not even one. On what someone named Mashburn's nickname might be.
Mash.
Okay.
Potatoes.
You're close. What's the other word?
Potatoes.
No. Shit, Hunter.
Oh,
It's not mashed potatoes. How many ballers you know named mashed potato? I'm going out of the park. Me, Jeezy, and mashed potatoes going to hoop up.
dang right. The mashed potatoes gonna school everybody. All right, he's gonna give him that gravy.
So anyway, Monster Mash is who he is. You ever heard that song?
Yes.
Okay. Shit, if you just said no to that one, I'm like, what?
I should have said no
What
just
planet?
to mess with
What
you.
planet was you born on with that one? How about the
Mars.
Monster Mash averaged 19, 5, and 4, which is Giannis land, kinda. 6'8" from Kentucky. Drafted 4th overall in the 1993 draft. The Monster Mash. Pull up some of his here's his stats for you folks at home.
You didn't even pull up how much Ray Langford was worth.
Ooh, I didn't do that. I will get to that in just a second. That was part of the project, wasn't it?
What did I just see?
I don't know.
Some dude just tweeted Trubisky to Washington is definitely happening. I didn't just speak this into existence.
Didn't we do that last week on something too? We talked about it on our
Probably.
show. We do it all the time.
Probably.
People-
I don't know if
people
he's
pull
just
that shit out.
joking because it's not a blue check mark guy. Like it's just a random guy that tweeted it. But I'm like, you know
It's
what?
probably just a joke.
It probably is. But you know what? Sometimes these jokes that we do, they become reality.
It was an idea I had, and then somebody did it, and they started talking. I saw the tweet, and I was like, "Mother, I got to tweet the Hunter." All right, Monster Mash in Dallas, averaged 19.9, 4 seasons in Miami, 15.8, 2 seasons in Charlotte, averaged 20.6. He was not an All-Star in Charlotte. He was an All-Star in New Orleans. Hunter, he didn't make his first All-Star team till age 30. His first and only All-Star at age 30.
Close to Kimball Walker.
But get this. The very next year was the last year he ever played.
I guess that was the last thing to do on his bucket list. Make an All-Star game.
He played 11 seasons, didn't make an All-Star team. 8 seasons, didn't make an All-Star. No, 9. 9 seasons, didn't make an All-Star team. Made it in his 10th.
Uh-huh.
His 11th was his last. He hurt his knee in his 12th and never played again.
But at least he can,
No comebacks.
at
Maybe
least he
that's
can
why
say
they
he
put
did
it-
it. At least he can say he made it
Do I-
one time.
Now I understand why they put a thing through his knee.
That's not why.
That's not why.
Cruel. That's crucial.
You're a cruel man.
I'd love to have one in a Hornets one, but I don't know if they ever made one. That's in the Dallas Mavericks. Oh, I'm looking at his stats here. I mean, obviously it was a solid 19 points a game. Like that's
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a solid role player. He doesn't have to be a superstar.
Well-
Some would call it a star.
first of all, call somebody a role player, and they average 19 a game in the NBA. Scottie Pippen averaged 16.
Role player. Role player, you know? Role player.
Did you just call Scottie Pippen a role player?
He was.
He played
I
his
try
role
to tell people
perfectly.
that he was a role player.
He played his role perfectly. Now, guess what?
Chris Paul career 18 points a game.
He could be one of the greatest role players of all time. There's nothing wrong with that. We say this all the time. There's nothing wrong with being the Robin to
Right.
Batman. You're still a superhero.
How about? Well, neither one of those are superheroes,
Oh, God, don't get started on this.
don't you think? Batman's not a superhero, right?
I don't know. I'm not JP.
Now I'll say this. Superhero. Maybe you could be a hero and be super. I don't know about. Well, I guess what's the word for it is for the superpowers thing. But he don't have superpowers. I just know that. Giannis career average 20 points a game. So Mashburn's right there with Giannis.
Yeah.
I know Giannis is averaging 27 now. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, he almost averaged 30 last
actually
year.
29.
Jeez.
But Mashburn was good. That dude was damn good. 6'8", strong as an ox type player. That like I'm trying to think how to explain somebody today what he was. But he was a small forward. He wasn't a. It wasn't a power forward strong like Karl Malone. It was Jimmy Butler, but a little bit. I would say he's probably a little bit heavy. Let me back him up real quick. Let's see. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler's like 6'6", 6'7". He's a 2 guard, but can play the 3.
Let's see if they're comparable in height. Mashburn 6'8", 240. See what I mean?
That's LeBron.
That's 240.
That is
Who did I just say I was
early
comparing him
LeBron.
to?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that's early LeBron.
If you're talking just straight body type, because LeBron's biggest was 6'8", 260, and that's when he was down in Miami.
Butler's 6'7", 230.
That's close.
So
They're
1
close.
inch and 10 pounds. So that was a good comparison. That's kind of what I. But just a little bit stronger. Like he's not sat there shooting threes like Jimmy, obviously, because that's not how they
That's
play.
what I was gonna ask.
But like he was really good on the post. I mean, he's
Jimmy.
He's like a Larry Johnson. LJ. He's very close to LJ type. LJ, Glenn Robinson. I don't know if you know Glenn Big Dog Robinson, Jimmy Butler. All right, let me look up starting lineup prices, and then we'll finish it up. So we had Ray Langford. What year? I bet. See if you can figure it out. I know what it is just by looking at it, because I'm an expert at these things. Let's see. 92 baseball.
What's it say up top there?
1993.
Yep. No, 92 had the coin. That is 93. 92 was the coin. 93 was the stripes. So 93 baseball. Ray Langford, right?
Yeah.
$12, baby.
There you go.
Wow, $12.
$12 for Ray Langford.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
All right, and the last one was Jamal Mashburn. What year was
96.
Mashburn? 96 edition. So 96 basketball, Monster Mash, Dallas Mavericks. $15. So right there in your hands, it's $50 worth of old basketball players in cardboard and wax
Collectibles.
and paint.
Listen.
Go sell all those ones in that room and see how much money you get for them.
Just times 15 by, if you'll take, I say, how many rows I got in there?
A lot.
10 by 15. 150, 500 times 15. Do that. And that's probably where you're getting at on that, maybe. Just guessing on an average.
You have 500 starting lineups.
In that room,
7,500.
probably. Don't you think?
What'd you say?
7,500.
Yeah, it's less than. It's gonna be less than 10,000 is what my estimate was. So that's
not a bad day at the flea market.
well. I mean, it's close to 500 in there. It might be 400 in there because
Regardless,
four
that's
walls.
a lot. Yeah,
Right.
We're counting them all.
regardless, like
What I really need is, and what's I've actually went through and take pictures of them all, and I've got them cataloged on the computer. I just don't have them. We're going to sell them, put them on eBay. A lot of them, so the ones that aren't big or whatever.
Right.
And that we've got records. We got 1,000 of records that we need labeled and looked up values. We could do it. We could do our own store if we want to in records. And I think we probably got some of the special editions, Hunter, the demos and stuff that nobody's ever had. Because that's a problem. That's almost all
at
we
one
got.
time I don't know where it's at now. My aunt met T.I. when he was still Tip, walking out of I think 95 one or 96 one with his 3-song demo that he was giving to people, and I had it somewhere because she gave it to me, and God forbid I can't find it now.
It's funny.
It was literally white blank, and all it had written on there was T.I.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
man, dude, damn. I kick myself every day
That's
for not
probably
having
worth
that.
a lot of money now.
It might be to collectors of music, probably.
All right, couple real comments before we go. Mello passes Akeem, the real Mello.
He did. Yep, Carmelo.
Did you
Not
see?
fake Mello.
Listen, the more and more I watch him play, and I keep looking at the pictures, Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan's kid. Did you see the dunk last night?
Yeah, he dropped, what, 32, 34?
34. I told you I wanted him before the draft really, really bad.
Yeah.
And we couldn't draft him because, that's the Hornets' life is always 1 or 2 spots behind
Right.
behind greatness.
Wait
damn.
a minute.
What?
You got a good ball player down there.
I said greatness.
Oh, okay, fine. I don't think that's
There's a big difference between 15 points and 5 assists your career than what that dude's about to do.
I mean, his plus minus the other night was like plus 24, but okay.
Okay, but Anthony Edwards is dunking on people's heads, getting 34.
Yes, it's fun to watch. I get it. LaMelo is fun to watch too. I think he's pretty fun to watch too.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but he's fake mellow.
listen,
FAUX. Fox.
would you see the stats on his brothers out shooting like a lot of people this year?
Yeah, for some reason, Lonzo decided I'm going to learn how to shoot a 3-point shot.
Listen, those two are destined for 15, 5, and 5. It can play in the NBA. It's not superstars. Anthony Edwards is going to be a damn superstar.
I don't know about superstar, but he could be a star. The problem is Minnesota. If he gets out of there.
He might make
Listen,
it. Jordan made Chicago.
Listen, Andrew Wiggins was it with Minnesota for a while.
I'm not joking. Like, I don't get excited. I wasn't excited before watching him in the NBA and dunking like that on top of NBA players. In the air, hang time. That is young Jordan.
Do you want to know what's so funny too?
Yeah.
Like, but when he was drafted, he said he likes football more than basketball.
Yeah, no, he don't care. He's just after. He's have you seen the interview where he said he'll play any sport?
Hey, yeah.
It's a ping pong, whatever.
Right.
That one was funny. I was
It's
playing that
Michael-
one for Andre the other day. But
He's
that's Michael,
Jordan.
isn't it?
He's Michael
If you
Jordan's son, and he's the one that he's hiding. That's the one Michael Jordan's hiding.
It is.
Well,
being
Will
his
Chamberlain
son,
said
like
he's-
Drake did.
Will Chamberlain said, "I've had 20,000 different encounters. I don't know. I know I've got kids that I don't know about." That's what Chamberlain's saying now. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm joking about the kid thing, even though it's a funny meme on the internet. But damn, I mean, Hunter, the attacking the rim and dunking in traffic like that. That's Michael. I mean, it even because he's 6'5", it's what it looked like. Was the way he's doing that. All right, guys. Any other comments, questions? Oh, real quick. Hornets. 7 other wins against teams with a winning record. 12 against teams with a losing record. So they are, my theory, I went and looked it up today. Winning record against losing teams. Losing record against winning teams. Them and about 7 other teams are fighting for that play-in game for the right to get beat by the Nets in the first round.
Well,
Did you see that, Edwards and Jordan?
That look just.
yeah, that is close. But I will say this:
He
At
just needs to
least-
change his hair.
at least, yeah. It's
Now
close.
tell me.
It's close. I'll say this: the Hornets. At least it'd be nice if the Hornets can
Show
host
it to
a
the
playoff
screen.
game. I'll just leave it at that. It'd be nice if they can host a playoff game.
Host.
Think about it. It's a 7-game series. They got to come here anyway. So, would you not go regardless just because it would be the Nets? You'd get to go down there and watch KD, Kyrie,
No,
and
I have to wear a mask.
True. That's actually very true.
I'm
I'm
watching on-
not going either.
Watch it on whatever national television game it is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They'll put the Hornets. No, they might. I don't know. They love LaMelo. They might put him on there.
And it'd be Brooklyn. Come on.
Hit New York. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting 7 o'clock. Watch LaMelo get beat by 70 tonight.
They did beat him this year. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Was that before Harden got there?
Yeah.
Was
anyways.
that with
Yeah.
Kevin Durant on the floor?
Yes. I think so.
Well, whatever. It's hot garbage is what it is. It always will be. All right, Hunter, you got anything else on today's show? I think I'm finally through all my news and notes over here.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking through here some more.
Make
and
sure we didn't
nothing's
miss
come
anything.
across the ticker. Nope. Nothing has come across the ticker.
Going down through mine to make sure. I've got what was the I was gonna send that the other day. Culture Club picture. I think that was to Terry. He says so much nonsense I can't keep up. Oh, here's a good one, Dave. Y'all ready for this? Will be a fun one to end on. Word of the day. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dictionary.com adds a new word. Now, we're getting to a point of the end of civilization here, Hunter. Finna is the new word.
Finna
In the
mean?
dictionary.
Finna.
Finna.
What does that even mean?
Because guess what? I'm finna bust your ass for not knowing what finna means.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
he's exactly right. You can now write that in a paper in college, and it'd be okay. Finna, a phonetic spelling representing the African American vernacular English variant of fixing to, is one of the 600 words we just added. Just, you can't imagine the other words they added. Just letting you know, finna was at the top of the list.
My God.
Hunter, I don't know if you remember a time, but there was a time in my life where, one, you couldn't believe anything on the internet. Now you have to, like, they're usually Facebook post in court.
Yeah.
Like, what? I used to tell people I was 7 foot from India. Like, wait, now I got to go to court with this? Hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a polar bear. Like, you can lie on the internet, but now it's supposed to be factual. So they used to say, we couldn't even use a website as a source in college. Not even as any source, much less Wikipedia. And then now we're just basing everything off this fitna. I'm fitting to change the dictionary down at Wikipedia.
God.
Tanner's fitting to make some pieces that were Papa John's. And I don't know why Hunter has on the hat he has on today.
What?
Totally sponsored today with
Sponsored.
with all this. Yeah. He's got 75 KTC shirts, and here he comes in here.
Totally sponsored.
And Johnny Manziel shirts and all that other
Totally
stuff.
sponsored.
All right, guys, we'll see Thursday, Wednesday. Zach's gonna come in Wednesday. No, I got baseball Wednesday. But if it rains, shit.
We'll see you when we see you.
If it doesn't rain, I'll have baseball Wednesday and no show. If it rains, I'll have a show and no baseball. Either way, I think Hunter will be here Thursday.
Yes.
All right, see you later.